All right. Yes, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and my name's Ethan Van Sciver. Happy to be here with you on a Saturday, officially afternoon. It's 1 minute past noon. I'm late. But that's typical. It's great to be here. World's most charming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man. Great big Star Wars fan, trusted member of the media. Hooray! Hooray! Here we are. I'm actually launching another campaign, and a big one, very big one. Let's see if we got some people in here. We got a few. Hi, everyone. Hello, Linkovich Chamovsky. Hello, with a Z Cooper. Hello, Sanchez Knights. Hello, everyone. Always late. Well, I mean, not always late. I meant to be on here at noon. I just had to do a couple of things. I had your boy Zach call me up and just kind of check things over. I mean, your boy Zach knows how to do an Indiegogo campaign. He really does. And he's got a good sense of how to launch one. And how to make it simple, how to make it easy for everyone to understand, and how to make it successful. And so it's good to actually have him peruse an Indiegogo campaign before you launch it. Just a tip, just an FYI for anybody else who's out there thinking about launching an Indiegogo campaign. So what are we doing today? Today is pretty significant. Today is an opportunity to celebrate the success of Cyberfrog. Why is everything a mess on my desk? Hold on a second. Let me make noise. Everything is always a mess, guys. It can never just be simple. It's like everything's tangled up. My iPads, my lamp, everything is just crazy. All right, so today is the day to celebrate, first of all, the 50th anniversary of Vampirella. Vampirella was created back in 1969 by Forrest Ackerman and I think Trini Robbins. Trini Robbins or Trina Robbins? You guys are going to have to do some research. That's what Wikipedia is for. And now, of course, it's 2019. She is actually 50 years old. I have history with this character. This character has been with me through almost my entire career. I started out at Harris Comics. That's where Cyberfrog was being published. And as it turns out, Vampirella was their biggest property, back in the 90s. So it's kind of cool to have this happen. Now, let me show you what's going on. Just so that you and I are on the same page. We've got something pretty exciting. Hold on a second here. Yeah, professional broadcaster. So we just launched this today. We talked about it for a little while, but here it actually is. Present to everyone. Kaboom! Cyberfrog and Vampirella. Very exclusive variant cover. This is the 50th anniversary of Vampirella. Cyberfrog and Vampirella go way back together, way back to 1996. And we have just launched. We have launched something that has pissed everyone, all of these SJWs off. They're furious about this, but we don't care. We're proceeding forwards. Our job, our mission is simply to sell comic books. We don't care what SJWs say. We only pretty much care about what our fans say, and we do what we want to do. This is the first time, I think. Let me think through here. I think this is the first time that a Comicsgate character, that being Cyberfrog, has interacted with a mainstream comic book character. And let me tell you something. They ain't happy about it. These SJWs are not happy about it at all. But F them. We're going to do whatever we want to do. K-Sis says Vampirella was sexy and sex sells. Indiana Jeremy says the cover looks amazing. Thank you. Just got the colors back from Kyle Ritter, and I must admit, it does look amazing. Kyle's fantastic. We got a great. I wanted to do. All right, I'm scattered. I'm everywhere. Let me focus. Let me cool down. Let's talk about what this is and what this means. Okay, Cyberfrog Blood Honey. The campaign, the first story of Cyberfrog, actually takes place in the 90s, in 1998. And in 1998, the swarm, known as the alien swarm, known as the Vespis, comes down to Earth and just eradicates everything. Now, I wanted, early on when I created this idea, I wanted to be able to ask other people who had independent comics in the 1990s if they wanted to be a part of this, if they want to show their characters actually interacting with and fighting the Vespis, because they would have if it was a shared universe in any kind of way, and shared universes are fun. then yeah, Vampirella would have had to have dealt with the Vespis as well. Did she survive? Was she killed? I don't know. That's up to us. We can kind of decide this. I talked to Billy Tucci about having she come and fight the Vespis. I want the Chaos characters to fight the Vespis. All of the biggest characters of the 1990s. Oh my God, can you imagine if the Max or Pit had to fight the Vespis? It would be so cool. Now, the only way to do this, and we are fighting incredible odds, the only way to do this is just to prove that this is profitable, that Comicsgate characters are profitable. This is where the excitement is. And it is where the excitement is. Let's be honest. The rest of the comic book industry ain't exactly setting the world on fire right now. The way things used to be, the way things, we used to promote comics and interact with fans is pretty much dead at this point. I mean, somebody sent me this picture of what a convention looks like. This is superstar Mark Waid at a convention right now. It's dead. Nobody is there. Nobody wants to come see Mark Waid. The comic book industry it ain't working. Okay. Now we at Comicsgate, we are devising a new way to communicate with fans. We're finding a new way to actually get through to people and excite people about comics, get people moving, get people thrilled and motivated. They're obviously not being motivated here. Old comic book conventions, the old method, the old technique, just is not working. So we've got to do things differently. We have to do things differently. We can't look at this. Look at the way comic book conventions look right now. This is one short, fat man talking to just one other man, one regularly proportioned man. This cannot be the answer. We cannot just send out armies of hobbits to sell prints of drawings that nobody wants and expect the comic book industry to be healthy. We can't do it. The hobbits can't do that. They can't do it for us. We've got to do it ourselves, everyone. This is what it's all about. We have to interact with multitudes of people from our homes. Right now, 517 people watching the relaunch or the launch of Cyberfrog Vampirella, the variant cover. What an incredible thing. We are going to actually interact with more people and sell more comics just sitting here, just in front of our computers with each other, just being friends, just being pals, then all of the hobbits in Hobbiton will be able to do at a comic convention this weekend. This is the way things are. Cyberfrog Vampirella, where did I put it? Right here. Cyberfrog Vampirella, amazing. Look at this. We've got $800, 13 backers. And boom, now we're at $2,340, 38 backers. The link is in the description. We're going to go through this campaign. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do a bunch of things today. I'm also going to do a reading of the very first chapter of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. I've done it before. I did most of it. I'm going to do a reading of the very first chapter, so you guys can be here. You're going to get an exclusive preview of Chapter 1 of Blood Honey. You're going to see the art. You're going to see the lettering that's almost completely finished. It's a little bit here and there, little touch-ups and stuff like that. But you're going to see the process of this. The thing about Comicsgate, again, is that we show each other. We want to actually develop these comics together. We want you to be a part of it. It's important that you're a part of it. It's important that you feel included. You paid for this stuff to happen, so it happens right in front of you. You are investors in all of this. Matt Costin's here. He says, Comicsgate can save comics. It's the revamped comic industry. I love the use of the word vamped right there, Matt Costin. Thank you very much. Oh, what a thing. Cyberfrog Vampirella exclusive variant cover. So if you want to do this, if you want to be a person who supports the very first Comicsgate and mainstream comic book character crossover, even though it's just a variant cover, then the link is in the description below. You will be able to be a part of this historic event. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say and so much to talk about here that I really have to just kind of chill, get myself together. Hold on, let me get myself zen. Do you guys do that? Do you ever like go into the lotus position when you've got too many thoughts, you're too scattered, and you just go, That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, we're doing it together. We're going to get ourselves zen. We're going to get ourselves ready to go. All right, so Cyberfrog and Vampirella, this is a variant cover. Let me show you the artwork first. This is the artwork in black and white. This is the line artwork. And a lot of people prefer this. A lot of people prefer just getting, the line art. We are going to we're going to do that for Cyberfrog Blood Honey. When the color books come in from the printer, we're going to relaunch a black and white version so that you can go back and just look at the artwork of the book. It is yours. I mean, this is the thing. People are like, why are you spoiling? Why are you showing pages of artwork? Why? Well, because they already paid for it. You guys already paid for this book to happen. It's already paid for. It belongs to you. Every aspect of production of this comic belongs to you. You were here from the start. You funded it. You made it possible for this to happen. I honestly, I feel like, it's yours, and I feel like I should share it with you. So we're going to do a black and white version of Cyberfrog Blood Honey that's going to look like this, if that's what you want. And this right here, this is a black and white version of the Vampirella, Cyberfrog, and of course Salamandroid. I can't put Salamandroid in there because it's too many letters. I feel like I'm leaving Salamandroid out, and I shouldn't do that, but it doesn't fit in it. It's too many letters. They only let your title have too many or so many letters in it. It's like Twitter. But in any case, Cyberfrog and Salamandroid and Vampirella, this is the black and white version. You can actually get this if you would prefer to worship at the altar of Kyle Ritter at Def Colorist. Kyle Ritter is my colorist and my pal. He's deaf mute, but he is one of the most charming, wonderful, kind, sweet people I've ever had to deal with. I've ever had the pleasure of dealing with, and one of the most talented. I mean, obviously, one of the most talented. You can give him this black and white piece of art, and look what he does. He just lights it up. This comic book is going to glow in your comic book collection. Why would you even put this away? Hang it on your wall. Kyle Ritter is a fantastic colorist. Look at the light coming off of this honey. This is a honeycomb made of human flesh. The honey spilling out of it is obviously made from human blood, but now it is nectar. It's edible by these Vespis, and Vampirella is standing in the middle of it, just looking sexy, looking like a goddess, but looking like, oh boy, we got a lot of work to do. Cyberfrog and Salamandroid already know all about it. They already know all about the crisis. Getting Vampirella involved will help. I hope Vampirella can stand up to this, but she's a tough gal. Now, if this cover goes well, I'm going to do 3 more. This cover is going on. Let's go back and read this. Hello, everyone. No, hey, everyone. This is really exciting. For those who have been following the Cyberfrog campaign and those who have supported it, your support has gotten attention. Stop for a minute. It sure has. Rich Johnson, villain, monster over at Bleeding Cool. Ethan Van Sciver commissions retailer-exclusive Dynamite crossover covers with Cyberfrog, beginning with Vampirella. You better believe it, mofo. 42 comments. Do you understand how much this scares these people? Do you understand how much this one act, just me doing covers with Vampirella and Cyberfrog, do you understand how much it scares SJWs? It scares them. Back in the day, retailers used to commission star comics creators to draw a cover for an upcoming comic book, usually from DC or Marvel, that would be exclusive to their store. Each store would have to order hundreds of thousands of copies to make it worthwhile for the publisher. Some enterprising artists realized they could commission themselves to draw exclusive covers of such comics, get the publishers to print them, then just sell them online or at shows, signed or unsigned, for a considerable markup. A very considerable markup. Very considerable. These people here listed: Rob Liefeld, J. Scott Campbell, John Tyler, Christopher, everybody, a bunch of people decided to do this. I've never done this before. This is my first time doing this. These comics are what collectibles are all about. These are not publisher-induced fake incentives to comic book retailers. These are actual collectibles that are very, very, very rare, and they're extremely, extremely collectible and a lot more expensive than a normal comic. At Dynamite Entertainment, which asked for fewer minimum copies to be printed than Marvel or DC, Dan Panosian did such for Red Sonja. Dan Panosian, awesome. Just awesome. As did Paolo Pantalina, as have other artists for different titles. The latest, it seems, is Ethan Van Sciver. Of course, I'm always the latest, so to speak. No longer working for major companies or publishers, fresh from last summer's very successful, just admit it, bitches. Admit it, USJW scumbags. Very successful Indiegogo campaign for Cyberfrog Blood Honey. The comic is yet to be published, but Ethan is now commissioning himself, thank you, to draw Cyberfrog variant covers to Dynamite Entertainment titles, showing his cyborg amphibian interacting with other characters published by Dynamite. This is terrifying to these people. Why should it be terrifying? Why can't they just be happy for my success? Look at this. Here's Ray Cornwall. This man, many of you have seen him on Twitter. Many of you won't forget it. They're saying, if Dynamite works with Ethan, then I'm not going to buy that one comic book from them that I always buy every month. Oh, yeah? Well, we're going to send thousands of comic skaters to make up for that one copy that you decided to not buy just out of protest, just out of hatred. Anti-Comics Gate is it is a hate. Is it a hate group? It is a hate group. It is a hate group. We go down, look at this. Man, it's not man. All right, so this guy's got a real problem. And by the way, featured by Bleeding Cool. They're happy about this. They like this comment that Dynamite's free to work with whoever they want. But Ray's going to protest that. Ray's going to punish every other comic book creator, every retailer. These idiots are going to protest in a way that doesn't hurt me. Okay, it's not going to hurt Dynamite because we are going to bring incredible business to Dynamite, and of course we are. He's going to punish every other creator who works for Dynamite. He's going to punish these retailers, and that's stupid. I mean, this whole thing is dumb. This comic book industry needs a kick in the rear end, and here it is right here. Here's the kick in the rear end. Oops, there we go. I'm giving up all my links. This is the kick in the rear end. Cyberfrog and Vampirella exclusive variant cover. We're now up to $3,810 available right now. Is this what they're afraid of? I mean, is this what they're afraid of? Now, people are saying, how can I get one? There is a link in the description, guys. If you go beneath the, if you hit the little arrow beneath your screen, a description will drop down with a link to be able to support Cyberfrog and Vampirella, the exclusive variant cover. So, all right, so you've got black and white, you've got color. Now, these are the tiers that you can get. And by the way, I'm not going to gouge you like these people do. You know, I don't want to name names, but the people who normally do this, these are convention exclusives. These are very, very expensive. All right, so $20. That's the regular variant cover. I'm not charging $25. I'm charging $20, and it's the variant cover. And then if you want to, let's say you just want this piece of artwork. You don't want like the logo. You don't want it to say Vampirella and Cyberfrog across the top. You can do that. That's going to be a different variant cover for $20. The variant cover without the logo. We're going to see here at the bottom, the black and white variant cover. This one here, which is not going to have a logo. It's just going to be the black and white line art. It's going to be the rarest version, $30. So $30 for the black and white variant cover. All of these are going to be shipped to you very, very safely. I wouldn't worry about getting your books back in excellent condition. They will be in excellent condition. Now, let's say, you know what? I don't want to choose. I want all three. Well, you're going to get one for free because, ordinarily 20, 20, 30, that would be 70. All three, you're going to get them for $50. So if you want to actually go and get all three of these, $50, that's good. You don't have to choose. Now, if you want all three and you want me to sign them all, that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate. That is the tip top of where we're going here. All three, and I will sign them. $100. I just don't think it gets better than that. I think that's a pretty. I think that's a pretty good deal. I think that's what. I don't know. I like it. I like the pricing points there. I think that's fair, and I think it's cool. Cyberfrog and Vampirella exclusive variant cover. The very beginning of this. And by the way, if this does well, I'm going to do 3 more. But I think what I'm going to do. Is I think I'm going to tell a story with these. I think I'm going to actually tell a story. Like this will be, panel 1, and then maybe we'll do panel 2, where something else has happened here, panel 3, panel 4, and then we just end up making these covers instead of just flat, kind of just like, ordinarily these covers are, what they are. They're posed images. They have nothing to do with each other. But why not actually tell a story in 4 panels? So it's like something actually happens. Happy Hobbit, thanks for 99 cents. Appreciate it. Durana says, yo, Ethan, what about a print here? Well, I don't know. I mean, we might do that. I might do that another time. I didn't think to do a print. I don't know about doing a print. But, Zach told me to do that. Zach said, do a print. And I said, well, maybe. But for now, I just want to sell comic books. I don't know. All right, so but we'll think about it. I'll get back to that and think about it. By the way, we are fully funded. I didn't even realize that. I'm busy running my mouth. We are at $4,230. We're fully funded fully funded in the first, well, I mean, more than that. We're 200% funded in the first 20 minutes. I haven't done a glug glug in a while. Hold on, let me do a better glug glug. You got to do the after that. You have to go. All right, so we're fully funded, $4,230. All right, so your support has gotten attention. People supporting Cyberfrog, well, it's gotten attention. It's gotten positive attention from normal people. It's gotten very negative, frightened attention from terrible people who want to control the industry. They just want to be able to control and gatekeep the industry. They want to utilize comics to send messages about social issues. They're not really here to entertain you. I mean, none of these people want to entertain you first and foremost. Vampirella, of course. Look at this costume on her. Look at this costume on her. It's pretty incredible. I think it looks better on her than it looked on Tim Doyle when he wore it in green. But this is fantastic. Now, a lot of people in this day and age, a lot of women have trouble with this. A lot of the feminists who are in comics now are going to have trouble with this kind of a thing happening. We can't allow that. We really do have to just kind of keep these characters the way that they always have been. We've got to preserve them to sort of match the intent of the creative people who initially created them. I think it is. I think it's important, and I think that's kind of what I stand for and always have. I've always just been like, all right, so what does this character actually mean? What is this character? What is he or she? What did they represent? What was the initial intent of the creative person? And with Vampirella, I think she actually kind of does fit in pretty easily with the Cyberfrog universe, and I'll tell you why. Back in 1996, Cyberfrog was published by Harris Comics, the company that also published Vampirella. Because of the success of Cyberfrog Blood Honey and the demand for more product, I've asked Dynamite Comics, her current publisher, if I could team these characters up for a variant cover. Here it is, let's go. And of course, Dynamite Comics said yes, because, look, we're very friendly over there. I've promoted Dynamite Comics. I've done videos for them, but also because they're in business. Hey, salute. They're in business. They're not here to change the world. They're here to sell comics and entertain people. That was their original business model. That was their plan. And so if somebody says, hey, can I buy a bunch of copies of one of your books and then recover it and everybody's going to make money, they're going to say, yeah, of course. That sounds like a good deal. So that's what's happening here. All right. So we scroll down a little bit more. And let me read the story here. Oh, yeah, it's blood honey sucking good fun. Boy, am I clever. I should write jingles for fast food restaurants. Really. It's blood honey sucking good fun. I'm so excited about this. This is the first of many cool limited edition Cyberfrog products that I'd like to offer you. These are highly limited collectibles. You will receive a copy of the 20-page Dynamite Comics Vampirella versus Reanimator #1, written by Cullen Bunn. And drawn by Blackie Shepard. I worked with Cullen Bunn on Sinestro back in the day, with an exclusive new cover by me, Ethan Van Sciver. I've worked for 26 years for Hall of Heroes. This is my list of companies I've worked for. I've worked for 26 years for Hall of Heroes, Harris Comics, Marvel Comics, and most notably for DC Comics, creating the emotional spectrum for Green Lantern, as well as important books like Flash Rebirth and Sinestro Core War. But now I'm working independently, creating massively anticipated new titles like Rainbow Brute and yes, Cyberfrog. So have you read Vampirella before? Have you? Vampirella, created in 1969, so 50 years ago, one of the biggest names in horror comics. Vampirella was originally presented as an inhabitant of the planet Draculon, a world where a vampiric race lived on blood and where blood flowed in rivers. Draculon orbits twin suns that were causing droughts across the planet, marking certain doom for Vampirella and her race. The race of which Vampirella was born, the Vampiri, were able to transform themselves into bats at will, possess superhuman physical attributes, sprout wings when required to fly, and drink blood. During the bad girl craze of the 1990s, she was one of the most popular and best-selling characters, and I was there for it all. So was Billy Tucci. Billy Tucci was there for it all as well. Was she? This is the first issue. The first time, this is important, the first time Cyberfrog and Salamandroid have ever been seen with a mainstream comic book character. If this is a success, I'll do more. And why wouldn't I do more? It looks like Marvel Comics is licensing out all their characters to IDW. Spider-Man's next. You hear me, Marvel? Spider-Man's next. These books are all ready to print. Let's get this frog jumping. Let's get this frog jumping as we do. As we do. All right, so that's what this is. You're going to get a copy of the incredible Vampirella versus the Reanimator, another great horror character. I think I might put him on the next cover, which would be kind of fun. Look in the chat, Shinto Ketchup. How does she put on her makeup? No reflection. She doesn't need makeup. She just looks like that. She's just beautiful all the time. When you look like that, you don't need to put on makeup. We're already at $5,270, raised by 87 backers. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Nathan Menda says their fear over a single exploit is interesting. Well, Nathaniel, if it's true, I mean, if we're successful, if we succeed, it just kind of makes it seem like they don't really have complete control over the industry. We do, the fans do, obviously. The fans do. All right, let me read some super chats, and then we're gonna have story time, everyone. Let's have story time. Talk a little bit more about this. I'm buzzing over this. I've been excited about this for like weeks. I've been excited about this for weeks. It's just awesome. All right, let me see here. Dank Plank says Salamandroid is fucking cool. Definitely. He's definitely cool. All right, Panboy Lando Soy Child Dong Lover, my favorite name. I mean, that is the best name for a Twitter profile. He says, "Hail Caesar, welcome to the Dynamite era." Thank you. Jibba J, thank you for $2. Darth Gavel, thanks for $2. Everybody, be sure to lick that like button. Oh yeah, do that if you can. I never asked that. That's something that Jeremy does. He's like, hit that like button, smash that melee button for the working man. Smash that melee button, the like button for me, please. I'd appreciate it. That like button's important. That means, hey, good stuff. 800 people watching right now. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. What a great Saturday. Dick McBiz says, "Is the black and white cover a Virgin variant?" Yes, it is. There will be there'll be no cover logo, no trade dress on the black and white version. It's just going to be the artwork. Johannes Amon says, "Nice. Finally, Aunt Andrea on a cover. Do want." Andrea thinks, Andrea saw that and went, wow, you draw every woman to kind of look like me. Well, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. So why wouldn't I? Rakis Wolfstar says, legend has it, one drop of Uncle Ethan sweat turns soy lattes into protein shakes. But we don't get anywhere near soy lattes. Happy Hobbit, thanks for 99 cents. Darth Gavel, thanks for $2. Shared and tweeted. Oh, I appreciate that. John Smith says, if you could do a variant cover of any book, what would you like to do? A variant cover of any book? They're just, I as long as I can draw Cyberfrog, I would do a variant. I guess the answer to that question is, let's do a Cyberfrog Green Lantern team up. That just seems obvious. They're both, Cyberfrog would make a good Green Lantern. Cumberbatch Pepperpot says, can you do a DC Green Lantern Cyberfrog cover? There's the question. Eventually, possibly. Yakusei, thanks for $10. I hope you'll do a print tier. Most of us have already purchased multiple comics. I love you, man, but I don't want to buy any more of the same comic just for another variant cover. I already have 6 coming. Well, Yakusei, remember that this is not Cyberfrog Blood Honey. This is not Cyberfrog Blood Honey. This is Vampirella versus the Reanimator with my cover on it. So this is not, this it is related to, it's related to Blood Honey, but it's just a variant cover. But a poster tier or a print tier seems like it's something to talk about. I guess I'd have to. I think I have to ask Dynamite if I'm allowed to do that because it's their character. But I'll check. Archlish Steve says, if yes, what platform? I was late, but I want the variant. Oh, well, that's easy to do. I mean, the link is in the description below the video screen. If you just hit and look at the description for this video, you're going to see a link to be able to back Cyberfrog and Vampirella, the variant cover. Just go over there and back it. And thank you for your support. Don't worry about being late. We're going to be running this campaign for like a month, I think. We'll do it for a month. Zebulon Pike says, snagged all 3 signed. What a deal. Thanks, 8. See, that's what I love. Thank you, Zebulon Pike. Fans are the best. You guys are absolutely the best. You support everything that I do, and I really, really appreciate it. I'm so like hyped and enthusiastic over this, and I appreciate you guys just being there to back me up. 818 people watching. Klein Dropper says, "Poor Uncle E will have another 50,000 comics to sign." If you guys buy 50,000 copies of this, I will not mind signing them. I will be honored to sign them. That'd be amazing. But yeah, it would no longer be a limited variant. It would be an everywhere variant at that point. It would be pretty funny. All right, so let me see. Where's my? Here we go. Here, and thank you for the super chats, everyone. All right, let's do story time. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of story time? This is the first chapter. Some of you have seen this. I don't think you guys have seen all of them. I don't think you guys have seen all of the pages. I don't think I've read all of chapter 1 to you. But chapter 1 of Cyberfrog Blood Honey is the origin story. It is how everything happened. And it was tricky to do because, I had to go back and take all the Harris Comics issues. And I did those Harris Comics issues when I was like young and kind of, I don't know, silly. I wasn't taking anything too seriously. And I wasn't really much of a storyteller. I was somebody who just wanted to draw cool stuff and then throw word balloons on it. So that being the case, going back and looking at, Cyberfrog or the original Cyberfrog book, Cyberfrog Reservoir Frog, and Cyberfrog Zero, all of the original comics, and then sort of making them make sense in the current world of Blood Honey was a little bit of a challenge. Also, people asked a lot. They said, "Do I need to go back and read the Harris Comics books in order to understand the series?" And to me, the answer was, "Well, I better just tell them. I better just spend a chapter actually telling the whole story of how Cyberfrog came to be, how Salamandroid came to be, how he met Heather, and what their purpose is. I need to reintroduce the characters to you guys. And that way, if you want to go back and read the Harris Comics issues, you can." But you don't have to. You don't have to. You're okay just jumping on board Blood Honey. You won't miss a thing. So this first chapter should get you all keyed up. It should kind of, not only make some of that Harris Comics stuff that maybe didn't make sense suddenly make sense, but it'll also tell you everything that you need to know in order to go ahead with this current story. And Cyberfrog is going to be an ongoing series of trade paperbacks. Initially, I thought it was just going to be maybe 4. But I don't want to stop. I've never been so happy. Every day I wake up and I have a new idea. Every day I tell Andrea excitedly about some new realization I had about these characters and how they work and what they mean. Why stop? Let's just keep going. So it's going to be a series of graphic novels. This is the first one. This is the first one that you need to read in order to follow along with the story that's coming up. And this is the first chapter, first 20 pages of the entire issue of Blood Honey. You guys ready? Oh, look, we're at $6,000 even. Thank you, everybody. Before I start, don't forget to back Cyberfrog Vampirella, the variant cover. That is, it's important. The link is in the description. We just launched it now. It's on its way to amazing results. We're already 300% funded. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Make sure to get your copy and back the comic. Thank you so much. You don't want to miss this because Cyberfrog is going to blow up. It's going to be huge, and you're gonna wish that you got every single collectible that gets offered to just you guys, just on Indiegogo. All right, so let me get a drink, and we will prepare to read. All right. By the way, the letterer on this book, a fellow named Somnavision, so good. He went back and he got all of my old Harris Comics books, and he copied the fonts because all of the kind of alien characters have unique fonts and unique word balloons that let you know that who is speaking, and he copied them. And I don't know a lot of other letterers that would have done that. I really don't. So I'm pleased with this. Every time I see one of his new pages, I'm like, this is art. Like, you're doing art. You're making art. Everyone is just putting their heart into this. Like Kyle has put his heart into the colors. Everyone's just going way overboard to make this the single most pleasing, impressive, entertaining, and heartfelt comic book of the year. So this is recorded for posterity. This is for whatever poor soul survives, suffers, and seeks answers as to why this happened, why this didn't work, what could have been done differently. And this is for who is to blame. I am called Sin. I was your last hope. And this is the story of my failure. I'm Orson Welles. I swear to God. Am I Orson Welles? Give me an F in the chat if I'm Orson Welles. No, give me an O for Orson Welles. I'll actually do a reading of this. I'm gonna be like, or this will be a radio drama. It'll be like The Shadow Knows. I could do that. All Caps Comics presents Cyberfrog Blood Honey, written and drawn by Ethan Van Sciver. Look at these colors by Kyle. Greens, orange, yellow. I mean, I don't think it. Yeah, thank you, chat. A lot of O's, a lot of FOs. Orson Welles. All right. So, by the way, the letterer is leaving me notes here. He's very professional. He's saying he might change some things. Let me zoom in a little bit so that you guys can get less of the notes and more of the art. Let me see here. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Is there any way to... Why is it like that? Why is everything a living hell? Why is everything a living hell? All right. For goodness sakes. If you ever leave your planet and are able to journey to mine, you will be filled with such wonder. My species is unique among the stars. I am both machine and living thing. I am female, but with a cybernetic womb that can nurture, teach, and cradle another's unborn offspring. Do you understand? Can you understand? Your kind was never meant to know any of this. You could not have been prepared. But I have come to know humans as most curious. I will continue to select my words with care, to educate, to empathize. Your planet was in terrible danger, as you now know. The Vespis were coming. I was called and I was sent, and I came as quickly as I could. Pierdani cared so much about your planet, about you and your planet, what you built, what you were, and what you could be. There's our planet. They tried to intervene on your behalf. It's the Pine Barrens in New Jersey in 1996. But time was short. For those who are joining me now, this is the first chapter, the first 20 pages of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. And it is the origin story. I'm doing a live reading. We've got 800 people watching. I'm doing a live reading of this, and I hope you enjoy. All right, this is Chelsea. So many variables unaccounted for. My unborn passenger was descending, ready for delivery, but this place was desolate, uninhabited by human life. Only simple creatures chirped and slithered about. No signs of the tribe of uniformed, idealistic young male adventurers our planners had expected me to find. Where were these Boy Scouts? Instead, just a frog. Time expired, and in that moment, our two worlds were conjoined. My passenger was born, so many variables unaccounted for. I had delivered unto your world twins, seeking input, seeking form, seeking the genetic code that would have been absorbed at that moment from two parents. Instead of a brave young human to combine my powerful armored structure, this developing Phoebe energy mass was amalgamating me, everything of which I was capable, all of my considerable power and strength. Look at Cyberfrog. And a frog. It was not the outcome that was hoped for. You are Trick Ron, ambassador of the Phoebe, the people of Pierdani. We appoint you protector of Earth. Ribbit. Key. He makes key noises. He goes, key. And then here, look at this nice blue salamander as the twin energy, fetal energy mass, finds a friend. And this is what the salamander says. He goes like that. Okay. Would you please? Language synced. What? Compensating for local dialect. Yo, where am I at? Synced. What the? This is Cyberfrog learning to speak English. Trick Ron, I require your strict attention. Listen up, you. Says, okay, I'm listening. Look how cute he is. Cyberfrog is cute. And you might not think so. You know, yeah. I am your mother. I'm your mother. Yeah. You must obey me. You're here for a very important purpose. By the way, my mother's voice should be soft. Like, what would her? I think her voice would be more like. It would be very feminine. Uh, if this gets voice acted, just picture a beautiful woman's voice. You're here for a very important purpose. A fight is coming, an indescribable war, death, destruction. Without you, this world is doomed. Doomed. I will always guide you. I will always prepare you. Whoa. Cybernetics Online. I will always be with you. And you can see, I mean, as soon as she connects with him, cybernetically. The little red dots around his calves and around his arms, his forearms light up. That kind of symbolizes their connection. That means they're online. They're connected together. And then you can see she's able to transform his body. Your new home is dangerous and will soon become a battleground for the survival of the human race. As long as we are connected, I will adjust and enhance your cybernetic body to meet any threat. Within you is everything that you will need to end this coming war. And then, he can make guns and to destroy the invaders. Dig it. To destroy the Vespis. So he's able to just destroy a whole forest of trees. Those trees could have ended up being paper to make Squirrel Girl comics. But it was better. This was better. It was better that they came to this fate, I think. All right. And then here we go, continuing on. Vespis. What are the Vespis? An invading, conquering swarm. Okay. You are here to protect the human race from them. Humanity may be flawed, but they have limitless potential for good. You may even grow to love them. The Vespis will see them as livestock, a food source. Their drained and emptied bodies will be recycled as nesting material. Blood is the nectar that becomes their honey. The Vespis will obliterate all life and destroy all of creation. They will perch upon the ashes of billions of broken hearts and dead dreams. And they will revel in the misery as they lay more eggs. Yeah. They sound like jerks. Yes. Tell me more about the humans. What do they want? Well, that's a complicated question. Most people want the freedom to live as they choose, without fear. Protect them, help them, be prepared to die for them. Okay, when do we start? So this is, by the way, just to talk about this. And I mean, Cyberfrog used to be a book that was just so nihilistic. And spending some time at DC Comics and learning what actual heroes were made me realize with shame that Cyberfrog was not a hero in the old Harris books. He was not. He was played for laughs, and he believed in nothing, and he was annoyed by everything. And there's still a little bit of that in this book because of the 90s, because of the circumstances that he found himself in. And I really do believe that in the 1990s, everybody had their eye off the ball. People were not paying attention. People didn't care. People just didn't care about the world around them. And in some ways, that was better. In some ways, just a little bit of sort of selfishness and a little bit of less paying attention to what other people were doing was probably better. But in other ways, it really did make people kind of callous and stupid. And Cyberfrog, I think, represented that in the 90s, the whole slacker kind of FU kind of I don't care kind of attitude in the 90s. And we touch on that in this book. But it becomes clear why that is, not the way of the hero. The grim and gritty hero of the 1990s was not a hero. And, Cyberfrog is a hero. Cyberfrog was told to be a hero, and he means to be one. He is absolutely willing to lay down his life for people. So that's cool. All right, so soon, very soon, there is one more. Look how cute Chelsin is, too. Chelsin has a cute shape, just like an egg with legs. Very frog-like. You look at Chelsin and that whole race of like alien robot. They look like they were meant to be frogs anyway. You know. Yeah, he is a hero. Cyberfrog is definitely a hero. Uh, there's one more. The twin, and you just this vocalizations. Yeah, the letter is like I interpreted tick tick as the flicking sound of a snake tongue, but it seems more like that's Sal's vocalization. That's correct. Tick 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 tick. That's the noise he's making with his mouth. And I got to move these sound effects off. Then I want them here. I want them here. So I'll have the letter remove those. Come closer, young one. Don't be afraid. Language synced. Hello. He doesn't talk like Cecil. He has a deeper voice. Salamandroid has a deeper voice. He just says, hello. You are, here's a double page spread. God, look at this. And, people say, a lot of comics have too much dialogue on them, but like when I use too much dialogue, there's a joke to it. There's a point to it, but this is Chelsin explaining to Salamandroid exactly who he is. Salamandroid just says, you are my mother. And Trickron says, your name is Duranron. Your size is not accidental. You were made with purpose by the planners of the world of your origin. You are appointed as the protector of your brother, Trickron. Watch over him, for his mission here on Earth is vital. If he fails, there will be no tomorrow. We will not share a cyberlink. I cannot offer you the advantages enjoyed by your sibling. You must endure and thrive without them. You will encounter the human population of this planet. And she says something different to him. You will encounter the human population of this planet. Their value as individuals will be left for you to determine as you serve your primary function. Protect your brother, clear his path, help him to succeed, even at the cost of your own life. Is this understood? So she's basically saying, look, Cyberfrog's job is to protect humanity, but your job is to protect your brother. So if humans get in the way, you have no obligation. You can go ahead, you can kill people if you need to. So he's being given kind of, lethal permission to be lethal if he needs to be. As long as he helps Cyberfrog serve out his mission, then that's good. Is this understood? And he said, just repeats himself. You are my mother? She's like, yes. I love you. The Duranron, there is my heart, and there is you. I know of no difference between them. Very sweet. You realize, at this point that Chelsin is very motherly. She's very maternal, and she knows what he needs. He doesn't need this or that. I mean, he doesn't need all of the weapons. He doesn't need all of the benefits. He doesn't need all of the privileges that Cyberfrog has. He just wants to be loved. That's it. He just wants like his mom to approve of him. So that's the difference between Salamandroid and Cyberfrog. He's just like a big puppy dog. He's a big Great Dane, gigantic Great Dane. And she says, do well, be worthy of your purpose, and always know that I love you too. He says, I will. So many variables unaccounted for, and yet I allowed myself to feel hopeful. Beneath the surface of this murky water, I would monitor them and prepare. Okay. From the depths of that swamp, I watched Trickron change. He entered into his service with such optimism, but I had failed to prepare him properly. I had taught him to feel sympathy and compassion for the human race, without warning him that they'd have little to none for him in return. No matter what he did, no matter how many lives he saved, humans would treat him with scorn, fear, and hatred. He was not like them. He did not look like one of their big Boy Scouts. He did not look like the hero our planners had hoped for. Over time, their ungratefulness and their harsh words wore him down. I had given armor to his body, but not to his heart. Trickron remained committed to his purpose, but he knew he would never love any of these people until one dark night when he met Heather Swain, a brave young woman whose strength had been tested by the circumstances of a difficult family life. Her father died in combat, and her mother brought a violent, physically abusive man into their home. I could feel the darkness growing in her mind as she struggled for safety, for someone to trust, for a way to survive. But despair was closing in. Now, back here is something interesting. This is Ben Reilly from the first Cyberfrog miniseries at Harris Comics, and I had to bring him back and just show who he was and make this make sense. So he says to her, "Oh, Heather, 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 Is this your shortcut through a cemetery or into one? Get away from me, Ben, you creep. Eventually you'll give in. No, I won't. It was a fight. She couldn't win on her own. Not without rescue, not without a hero. I've got you, says Cyberfrog. And Trick Ron was there to save her. I've got you. Hold on to me tight. I won't let you go. I'd given up. Don't ever do that, ever. As long as I breathe, I'll look out for you. Promise? Promise. And she, him. They all think I'm a monster. You aren't a monster. You're Cyberfrog. Visiting him regularly in the abandoned Camden, New Jersey row home he lived in. Yeah, Camden, New Jersey. Don't let others decide who you are. Don't. You're a hero. You know that. You decide who you are and be that every day. Good. And he just drops, here's a big bus in Camden, New Jersey. Camden is really rough. Yeah, those of you who have not been to New Jersey, Camden is rough. And the bus driver says, "You sure, miss? This ain't a safe part of town." She says, "I'm not scared of nothing, anything." And as you can see, she's brought chicken. Yo, Froggy brought you something good. You hungry? I could eat. This is fried chicken from Chicken Shack. I got a job there. If you like it, I can bring you more most days. Cyberfrog's very excited about chicken. Very excited about chicken. Xcal says, Ethan, the writing's incredible. Great job. Really? Thank you. I'm actually really, I love writing. I didn't think I would. I love it. She says, oh yeah, another thing. And she takes off the little bandage. She says, it's still bleeding. I just got it. Cyberfrog says, what's that? She says, it's supposed to be you. I drew it for the tattoo guy. Does it look okay? Cyberfrog says, why am I grinning like that? Trick Ron found a true friend in Heather Swain. And one true friend is all either of them ever needed. It's all either of them ever needed. This is great because this is the Walt Simonson cover to Cyberfrog #1. And I just wanted to tribute it. So Heather got a tattoo. Cyberfrog is her best friend. She got a big back tattoo of him. And Cyberfrog doesn't like it. He's not so sure it looks like him. All right. It seems so fortunate that they found another. And here's Heather and Cyberfrog and Salamandroid together for the first time. She says, your name's really Deduron Ron? He says, yes, it is. Why? She goes, I'll call you Salamandroid. Sal for short. Salamandroid and Cyberfrog. Sal and Froggy. Cyberfrog says, this dude's going to eat a lot of fried chicken. And he would. He would eat a lot of fried chicken. All of that is gone now. Friendships didn't matter. Lives didn't matter. The work of 1,000 lifetimes didn't matter. It was erased. Everything was erased. Whoever finds and hears this message, my name was Chelsin of Pirdani. I failed you, and now I die. All hope is lost. No one is coming to save you, humanity. You must save yourselves. End part 1. Part 2. No, stop right there. This is just part 1. It's just part 1. I couldn't even read the rest of it to you if I wanted to. So there it is. I don't know. I just think it's good. And you know, I read it to Andrea yesterday, and I was just like, I could just release part 1 as a free comic book day issue to get people into it. What do you guys think? Like, let me get feedback and comments from you guys. I'm getting applause. Sweet. Okay, thank you. Jabba the Cuck says stop. I did stop. This is it. It's good. Oh, thank you, everyone. Valentin Ward says freaking gorgeous art. Thank you. I appreciate it. Delia Smith says rubbish. Bullet says she's like the wind through my trees. Wow, thanks, guys. Free album says you're a wordsmith, EVS. You know what's interesting? It's like I was talking to Andrea about this, and I was like, first of all, as I write, I'm writing this to be read. First of all, I know these characters inside and out, but I want it to be simple enough I want it to be for 12, 13-year-olds as well. So I'm tempted every now and then, like I want to use profanity and I just don't. I scale back. There's no profanity. I promise that there wouldn't be. I promise that this book would be violent, and it would be scary, and it would have gore. But I promise that like it wouldn't be profane. There wouldn't be sex, or anything like that. You can give it to it's PG-13. I wanted it to be PG-13. And I like it. I really do. I really really enjoy writing this. And as I sit here and prepare Wrecked Planet, which is the second book, um, it's just like I don't want to ever stop. I don't want to ever stop. More ideas just keep coming. When I started this, I just thought to myself, "This is it. I'm just going to do these 4 books, and that'll be it." But I have enough ideas to do 4 books. But the problem is that um, you just keep getting more ideas. Get Out of the Matrix says, "When will you finish the book, Ethan?" It's finished. It's finished. It's going through some lettering. It's almost on the way to the printer. It's all done. Yeah, profanity is a sign of a weak writer. Not always, but uh, you know, uh, it's just not appropriate here. This book is so much about friendship. That's the one thing that you realize. This book is about the value and importance of friendship, and it's about fear and being brave. So in a way, like a lot of lessons from Green Lantern come from this, and a lot of the simple lessons of Green Lantern come through in Cyberfrog. But just the lessons that I learned working at DC about what heroes are, and friendship. I think one thing that's funny is that it's so easy to write hate. It's so easy to write hatefulness. Characters that you think are being funny because they're being hateful to each other. And that's just I think that is what weak writing is. Weak writing is writing hatefulness, writing love, writing characters that care about each other, writing characters that you like, that you can relate to, you want to be friends with, you want to know. That is a challenge. That is a really really tough thing. You've got to find that within yourself. I mean, it's like you're afraid to actually be genuine and be sweet and just kind of say, I want to actually write something that will make people happy. It's much easier to write stuff where you hide something nice about yourself. Isn't that weird? I don't know. Leo Schultz says, "I can't stomach gross smut." Slick Rick says, "EBS turned from a nihilist to an old gooey hippie." I'm not a hippie. It's just, not a hippie at all. I'm, a man of war. And this book is about war. It's about fighting, but it's fighting the right thing. It's what are you fighting for? It's like, what are you fighting for? Cyberfrog was fighting initially to protect an abstract idea that was given to him. It's almost like your parents give you a set of values. They said to Cyberfrog, humanity is good. It's worth dying for. And Cyberfrog went out there with that instruction and found no evidence of that. But it's like he kept it. He kept those instructions because that's what his family taught him. But he didn't believe it. He didn't have any faith in that until he found it for himself in a real friend and somebody who actually cared about him and he cared about too, a person who he could relate to and understand. It's going to start wearing sandals everywhere and smell of patchouli. I hope not. Mike J says, is it still available for sale? Yeah, absolutely. I should put that in the chat as well. Today I'm promoting Cyberfrog Vampirella, this variant cover. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't backed Cyberfrog the Blood Honey team up cover yet, that is still available, and it's probably going to be available for another month. So let me put the link in the description there. Oh my gosh, we're at $208,856 for that one. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I can't even tell you how happy I am. And the idea of ever going back and just allowing myself to just draw someone else's stories, that's a thing of the past. It's just a thing of the past. I can't do that anymore. Back Cyberfrog team Blood Honey here. All right, pop that in there. All right, so this is the Is that the link? Is that the right link? No, it isn't. Everything's tough. Everything has to be difficult all the time. It can't just be simple. That's my dad used to talk that way. Let me see here. Back Lone Star. Soul of the Soldier. I wonder how Mike's doing. I get some comics gators in here. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, I'm editing this. All right, so that goes there. Backspace. Space. Save changes. Okay, now if you want to back Cyberfrog Blood Honey, if you want to read the rest of the story, and that's chapter 1. I mean, from there, by the way, that bit of the story happens in 1996, and then from there it jumps to 1998. It's a big jump. And then from there, chapter 3 jumps all the way to 2018. So it's it jumps around a little bit, and you just get to see a difference in all of these characters and how time changes people. I hope all that comes across. Who knows? Mike's doing pretty good. Hey, Mike. Over $9,000 in 1 hour. How much? Let's see. Hoth Rebel 86 says, how much money has Cyberfrog raised in total? I think $835,000 is where it's sitting right now. We have made $835,000 on Cyberfrog Blood Honey. I mean, this campaign is just absolutely amazing. And it keeps going. I think maybe if we do, I wanted to get to 7 figures, but I don't know if that's pie in the sky thinking. All right, hold on. I'm going to put this link in if comic skaters want to come in. I don't know if it's pie in the sky thinking to think we can get to 1 million. Maybe if I launch the black and white cover, maybe in that case it would work. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Maybe it would work. All right. Yeah. Let me see where we're at here. Cyberfrog, Vampirella. I'm like nervous all the time now. Now I'm like nervous. I read you my stuff. I said early on, I said that, the problem with writing your own stories is that if somebody doesn't like your artwork, that's fine. It's just a matter of taste. But if someone doesn't like your writing, there's a sense that it's because you're stupid. I don't know. Cyberfrog Vampirella exclusive variant cover right now. This is what we're promoting. It is the 50th anniversary of Vampirella. Vampirella was created in 1969, and we're already at 455% of goal. $9,120 raised by 140 backers in the first hour. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. That is fantastic. Very, very, very cool of you. Liam Gray, thanks for $10,000. 10,000 for $10. We're about to hit 10,000. Liam Gray says, but would Heather have even been his friend if he didn't save her that night? Or just another frightened girl running from a monster? Do humanity deserve his protection? Well, that's the question. But I think Heather, well, you'll see that in the story. I think yes. I think she would have. I think she would have. Heather is just somebody who could see somebody's heart. And that's what it is. Matt Becker says, well, nobody likes your artwork. Matt, how come you're being mean today? Panboy Lando Switch Out Dong Lover says, hail Black Russian Bot. Where is Black Russian Bot? And thank you for putting that Vampirella Cyberfrog variant link in the chat. Jabba the Cuck says, Nasser hugged and kissed me on the cheek without my permission. That's terrible. Look, voice actors have gone through worse for that. They've gone through terrible things for that kind of a thing happening. You can't do that. Yeah. Heather is Vampirella confirmed. No, I think Heather would be intimidated by Vampirella. Heather would be afraid of, well, I don't know. Heather would be freaked out by Vampirella. She'd be spooked. Yeah. Pop Culture Therapy says, can't wait for my Cyberfrog. Bought 2 copies. Radman says, hey, Ethan, did you name Heather after Heather Locklear? No. Where did I get the name Heather from? I'm not even really sure anymore. I'm not even sure where I got the name Heather from. I think I just liked the name Heather. But I mean, the whole idea in the 1990s was all of these kind of monster characters that were protective of a human. Like Pitt was protective of a little boy named Timmy, and there was The Tenth by Tony Daniel, a big monster protective of I think a girl. I like that. I was influenced by the idea of a powerful kind of scary hero monster that was protective of a human being that really needed his help. So Cyberfrog and Heather, just kind of worked, I think. And then obviously there's the Turtles and April O'Neil. That must have been an influence as well. But everything at the time, I mean, Cyberfrog was an amalgamation of everything that I loved in comics at the time. And now it's something much bigger than that. I mean, Cyberfrog was meant to just be something to do to learn how to draw comics. But now he actually has a lot of meaning to me, and the idea that it's influenced by anything from the 90s. I mean, not anymore. Not really. Black D Dragon, thanks for €5, says, EVS, you reading the first chapter sold the book for me, and I purchased a copy. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I do think doing book readings might be helpful. You never know with these Indiegogo campaigns. You never know if the books are going to be quite good or meet your expectations. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Cyberfrog's going to meet anyone's expectations. I don't know if it's good or bad. I know it feels good to write it. I know it's not a struggle to write it. And I know when I read it after it's lettered, I'm pleased. And so, I mean, if other people don't like it, I guess that's the way it is. But I like it. I like it a lot. Mike J says the Max. Yeah, the Max had a little girl too. Max had a girl that he was protecting. Tucon4 says, "Can we see what the cover looks like with the logo?" I wish we could. I guess I can. I guess I can get one made up. I don't have it yet. I don't have a fully mocked up cover yet. But this campaign's going to be running for 31 days, so I'll probably be able to do that and just add it in an update. $9,420 right now. Thank you guys. We're promoting Cyberfrog and Vampirella, the exclusive variant cover. This is a big deal. This is the first time a Comicsgate character has interacted in a comic with a mainstream comic book character. We're doing it. From here, certainly we could do Lone Star Captain America. Certainly that's what's next. Great Loner says, don't forget to update your campaigns. Yeah, I think I better do the problem is I got 3 different campaigns to update, but I got to do that. I got to update everyone. I part of me hopes that everyone kind of pays attention to my YouTube, but I don't think that they do. I think some people do not pay attention to my YouTube and don't hear my updates when I actually, narrate them. Stevie Spark says, my wife's first name was Heather. She was a bitch. Well, that's not good. Radman197 says, Cyberfrog is kid-friendly. Your daughter's going to love it. I hope so. I don't know if it's kid-friendly. I don't think, it depends on, when you say kid, I think 12, 13. When I was 12 and 13, I was watching Freddy Krueger movies. And 12 and 13-year-olds play violent video games. So, you guys have seen Cyberfrog Blood Honey. You've seen, there are panels where people get killed by wasps. So it's like, is that okay for your 12 or 13-year-old? It would have been okay for me. But when you say, is it for 8-year-olds? I don't know. No. Let me think of what an 8-year-old's like. I don't think so. But, yeah, slightly preteen or teen. That is about the youngest I think this book should go. Malzias, thanks for $10. Here to show support. Back this Vampirella variant today. Thanks for all you do. Oh, thank you. Mega Man 22222 says, do I know anything about Vampirella or Reanimator? No. Am I going to back this? Hell yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, get to know it. I mean, the thing is, you'll get to read the book and maybe you'll like it. We're going to do, if this one's successful, I will do the other 3 variant covers. I'll do variant covers for the other 3 issues. And then what we'll do is, the variant covers themselves will tell a story. The Reanimator makes zombies. So I would love to do a cover where Reanimator and Vampirella and Cyberfrog and Salamandroid. Reanimator is like reanimating people who've been killed and are dripping honey out of all their pores. Zombie honey zombies. Ugh. God, honey zombies. Oh, there's so much to do. So many possibilities. Kyle Ritter's here. He says, I really want you to draw Green Hornet Cyberfrog just for my father. Ha ha ha. Does I think Dynamite owns Green Hornet or something? I don't know. That's possible. We can do things. I mean, the thing about this is again, we wanna be profitable. We want these campaigns to do well, and to make people realize that if you produce cool stuff, fun stuff, fans will buy them. I mean, they will buy comics. You just have to actually speak directly to them. Cyborg Valkyrie says, Indiegogo Laughing Man logo. Look at it. Indiegogo Laughing Man logo. What about it? Indiegogo Laughing Man logo. I don't know what you mean. Um, let's see. Dynamo. Stevie Sparks is moving and wants to know if he can just change his backer address to be good. List of addresses hasn't been finalized on the first two campaigns, right? No. I mean, feel free to go ahead. Go make sure that your address is changed. I will make an announcement when we have begun shipping, when we have begun fulfilling, and that'll be it. That'll be the cutoff point. But until then, feel free to go through backer, your backing, and make sure that you can mess around with it all you want. Splendopia says EVS has walked the path all 90s skater slackers walked. I was kind of grunge. I love Nirvana in the 90s. You know what I was doing? I was watching I saw this Foo Fighters video yesterday, and it actually almost made me a little bit like, because I'm researching the 90s. I'm going back and trying to remember what it was like in the 90s. And I was watching this Foo Fighters video. It's a rehearsal for their new tour, and they're just up on a roof and they're practicing. They're playing kind of old songs like More Than a Feeling and just goofing off. And then all of a sudden, Dave just busts out with "Smells Like Teen Spirit." And he goes, and it was like, and everybody in the rest of the band was like, holy shit. Like that, they don't play those songs. Like the Foo Fighters really should do Nirvana covers, but they don't play it. And so they all got excited and played Smells Like Teen Spirit. And Dave said, he said, hey, maybe we'll open the show with this. Can you imagine? I would love that, man. I would go see the Foo Fighters if they played a whole set of Nirvana songs. But I mean, those songs, it's like they were so important in the early 90s. And they even mean something to Cyberfrog, because I used to just listen to Nirvana when I was drawing those old issues. And I was working on uh, Hanson or better. I was working on, a Cyberfrog page when I heard Kurt Cobain died. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Mighty John E says the 90s were like the 80s without mullets. Yeah. 90s were, I don't know. I like the 90s. Linkovich says Dave won't sing Kurt songs. Yeah, but he did. He did, though. He was up on the rooftop and he's like, come as you are. And I got goosebumps, man. I totally flipped out. He might be coming around. And I saw him on Howard Stern talking about it and talking about how he sort of compartmentalized that part of his life. But I mean, eventually you have to come out of that. You have to snap out of it and say, look, I was, still am, in Nirvana. Zebulon Pike, thanks for $2. Just snagged your Cobain variant, Reservoir Frog 2. Yeah, just the idea of Cyberfrog finding Kurt Cobain's body, and his shoulder says corporate comics still suck. Boy, was that prescient. Kurt Cobain wore a cover or a T-shirt on a cover of Rolling Stone magazine that said corporate magazines still suck, and that meant a lot to me as a kid. But yeah, corporate comics do still suck. Yeah, it's the idea of Kurt Cobain. What a waste. What a waste. He should still be here. Matt Becker says Ethan had a mullet in the 90s. Wrong. I did not have a mullet for one day of the 90s. I had a mullet in the 80s. In the 90s, I had a flock of seagulls haircut. Linkovich Chomovsky says Kurt Loder told me Kurt Cobain died. Yeah, I know. Mike Jenkins says Cobain treated him like crap. Yeah, we're going off into a Nirvana conversation here. Let me tell you something. I had a magazine because I also loved Depeche Mode in the early 90s. And I got this magazine because Depeche Mode was on the cover of it. But there was another article. This was from 93. There was another article in there. And it had Dave complaining about Kurt Cobain. They had him quoted saying, Kurt's a junkie and I hate him. And, all throughout I wish I still had this magazine. It's like, Kurt's a junkie and I hate him. Look directly left to your name. Oh, yeah, The Laughing Man. Is it gone? Why is it gone? Uh, so, yeah. I mean, there was trouble. There was trouble in the band. Chris Prissa, how do you pronounce that name? Prissa says, "Yes, why didn't you have a perk where Kyle signed as well? Considering his coloring really makes your art pop." Yeah, it's just too much. Like the only way to get Kyle to sign a bunch of stuff is to probably fly him up here. And it just seems like it'd be too difficult, you know. Justin McClure says, "Yeah, fool, it's been gone for 6 months. Why is it gone?" Oh, you know why it's gone? It's gone because I took my Facebook account down. It's gone because it was like connected to my Facebook. Oh. So, yeah, I killed 2 of my Facebook accounts, I only have 1 left. I had to take my Facebook accounts down because I have psychopaths that are stalking my family, and Facebook was something that I was just like, "Yeah, here's a bunch of stuff, here are pictures of me and my family, here's my kids, here's my mom, here's all this stuff about me." And since then, of course, I have become, you know, target number 1 for SJWs in comics. They're like going through my Facebook stuff. I'm like, I don't want you weirdos looking at my family. I don't. There's a lot that I can put up with, but the idea that you're scrolling through my wedding photos, uh, you know, not crazy about that. Steve Lededha, thanks for $10. I'm excited about the Vampirella cover because under Warren Publishing, she was involved in the apocalypse and she has boobs. Both of those things are important. Thank you, Steve. Darth Gavel, $2. 2040 Gen depressed Star Wars still sucks. Yeah. I got to do a video about the stupid theme park that everybody's bashing. Dynamo says Sublime is the worst band of the 90s. No, it gets worse. It gets much worse than that. Sublime was okay. I mean, they just weren't that great. And there's still Sublime cover bands. I'm like, what did they have? 3 songs? They might have had 2 songs, Sublime. And that was it. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. That was a good song. Felix Haas says, Uncle Ethan, I liked your Facebook page. Thank you. Well, I had a good Facebook page, but again, when you have literal psychopaths who have no limits, they have no limits, no decency, stalking you. There's no reason for that. Now, my social media is super impersonal. FP Sunny says, EVS, what's your favorite Depeche Mode song? Maybe Barrel of a Gun. Everything Counts. Tons of them. I don't know. I love the whole Violator and Music for the Masses and Songs of Faith and Devotion are their peak. All 3 of those albums are perfect. Downshift says, EVS secret perk like Mike. As an add-on, Kyle will sign the comics we already purchased. Money for you, Kyle, and a win for us. Give us what we want. Let me look into it. Let me look into that. It depends. I mean, we'd have to get to a pretty high level in order to afford to fly Kyle in to sign stuff. Jersey Devil says Stories of Old is their best song. Fight Me. Yeah. Here's stories of old, of riches untold. Yeah, it's a good song. That's one of those hidden songs on Songs of not in Song. What's that? What's the album? It's their 4th album. With Master and Servant and everything. There's so many good songs on that album. Stories of Old is one that kind of gets overlooked, and I don't think they ever played it live. David Hughes says, Phantom shirts with Laughing Man logo on the sleeve arrived today. They look great. Hey, cool. Yeah, they do look good. I still wear those. I'll wear those in public. Yesterday, I went out wearing my Go Get Daddy's Belt t-shirt, and I don't even care anymore. Like, I used to be like a little bit shy. Like, people are going to think that I'm beating my kids. I don't care. I wear it out. I wear it out in public. I'm proud of my Go Get Daddy's Belt shirt. It means we are going to conquer. It means it's time for us to whip you. It doesn't necessarily mean your kids, All right, let me go back and look at these super chats here. Modalicious, $5 to mention Snowflame. Snowflame. I don't know what Snowflame is, but yeah. Ty Gorton says, Backdoll 3 signed. Historic moment for comics. Jordan Street, thanks for $1. And Cyborg Valkyrie says, Heather equals Vampirella confirmed. Chelsen lives. Cyberfrog is the hero we deserve, says Steve. Grunde, born on a Monday, thanks for 99 cents. Ian House says, I was only number 94. I was late to the party, but I got top tier. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate it. Yakuse says, okay, fair enough. That changes things. Yakuse thought this was a variant cover on Blood Honey. It isn't. It isn't on Blood Honey. It's a separate book. Yeah. So let me see. Scrolling down. Malazia says, here to show support. Back this Vampirella variant today. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate that. And I like Black Dragon's comment the most. He says, EVS, you reading the first chapter sold the book for me and I purchased a copy. That means a lot. Thank you very much. You know, I read it aloud to Andrea too. I asked Andrea to sit down and read it herself. And she's like, will you read it for me? And I said, yeah, I'll read it for you. And I did. And boom, she liked it. Is Snowflame the cocaine villain from Marvel Comics or DC Comics? There's a supervillain that works on cocaine? I think that might be him. Let's see. Darth Gavel, read that one. Okay, I think we're all caught up there. So thank you very much. Cyberfrog Blood Honey team up, by the way, doing pretty good. Thank you guys for your additional support. We're at $208,936. Thank you for that. And of course, the incredible Vampirella Cyberfrog variant cover. Did we hit 10,000 yet? Oh my goodness, we hit and surpassed $10,000. $10,110. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. That is awesome. Judas Lee says, did Andrea buy a copy? You know what? I'll bet Andrea will get one for free. I mean, it's one of the many benefits to being married to me. Matt Becker says, you reading the first chapter made me refund. Matt, what are you being mean today for? What's the matter with you? Yeah, Vinny Art is here. He says, check out my campaign, The Art of Vinny, on Indiegogo. Yeah, that's a good idea. His book looks pretty good. Justin Ward says Weezer was great in the 90s. Then they went soy. Did they go soy? I don't know. I like their new 80s cover album. Although it's just like, you know what? Like they played Africa and it sounds just like the original. You're just a cover band. You're just covering you didn't add anything to it. Ms. Sad Song, thanks for $2. I got 3 applause emojis. Thank you very much. Cecil's here. He says, hello. Let's see. Yeah, $10,000. We're at $10,000 in the first 90 minutes. $10,000 in the first 90 minutes. Amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Let's see. Cyborg Valkyrie says, what does Dynamite consider a win for this cover? I don't know. Let's just keep going. We'll see how it goes. Arshless Steve says, love you, EVS. Did you miss my other chat? I don't know if I did or not. I thought I got it. Let me see. Oh, I see. Arshless Steve says, looks like I'll cancel my pull list and get comics online. Only like this from now on. Well, that's cool. I mean, you know, you can do that, but I don't know if you can get. Well, you should go to your store. If you can go to your comic book store, you should go to your comic book store. But do make sure that you're supporting Indiegogo campaigns as well. You know, some of these indie campaigns. Steve Ladetta says, Storytime with Uncle E, sponsored by WGN Chicago and viewers like you. Dynamo says, Moby says he wished he wasn't straight in an interview this week. The soyest musician from the 90s came out as an SJW this week. Here's the thing about that. You don't have to wish that you were gay. You could just go be gay. You could just go have sex with men if you want to. You don't have to wish that you could. You can go ahead and do it. Nobody's stopping you. Skeetney Moby. He's gone crazy. Skeetney, thanks for $20. Wow. Was DC buying Wildstorm the worst thing that could have happened to Wildstorm? I love Planetary, but I don't feel comfortable it being in the hands of Dan DiDio. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was the best thing that could have happened to Jim Lee, but those characters are gone. I mean, what are you going to do? And here's the other thing. I mean, people don't know this, but you know, Cyberfrog Blood Honey was originally going to be published by Jim Lee. Hold on a second. Let me show you this. This is crazy. Listen, I wanted to do this for a long time. Yeah, it's true. And people don't realize this. But it was going to be published by Jim Lee. So Van Sciver, this is from CBR, which has now been totally taken over by SJWs. These SJW scumbags have completely destroyed almost every good comic book website. I mean, they're utterly worthless. This used to be a real news site. It used to just kind of be a real news site. Now it's garbage. Van Sciver talks Wildstorm and Cyberfrog. Where's my picture? Why did they take my picture out right here? All right, let's read this article together. Superstar, that's me. Superstar artist Ethan Van Sciver has been eerily quiet of late. Why is that scary when I'm quiet? And by the way, this is from September 3rd. That was my birthday, 2010, 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I was eerily quiet on my birthday. People were spooked out by it at CBR. Yeah, I'm doing this and this and this and this and this. The artist responsible for rebirths of Hal Jordan and Barry Allen, blah, blah, blah. Returns to Fan Expo in Canada with the Canadians. I'm working on a book for Wildstorm. I was, you know. Oh, here it is. And as I understand it, we're going to see some new Cyberfrog stories too. That's right. Cyberfrog Blood Honey. By the way, look at it. It's two different words here. That's weird. Modalicious says Snowflame was DC's cocaine-powered supervillain. I remember. It's funny. Cyberfrog Blood Honey. In 2010, I'm talking about it. And here's the plot. Cyberfrog has been hibernating underground for 10 years. He came to Earth essentially to stop an alien invasion from happening and to protect the human race, but he didn't. He failed because he's a lazy slob. So he's been hibernating underground when this giant bee invasion from space happened. He comes out 10 years later now, and there's these giant skeletal bees, dude. They feed off of people. They chew up your skin and make paper out of it and spin it over buildings and things and turn Manhattan into a gigantic beehive. And then they also use your blood for pollen to turn into honey for the queen. So basically, it's 10 years later. Cyberfrog is going to find his old friend Heather. She survived the attack thanks to Cyberfrog, but now he has to try to kind of turn it back. It's a huge ordeal. It's a huge task because those bees are moving west and pushing humanity all the way to the coast as they go. Is this a miniseries or an ongoing? It's a miniseries. Will you be writing it and drawing it? I'm definitely doing the covers, and it's already written. There's another artist who has been a Cyberfrog fan since he was 14 years old. He used to send me drawings and letters. Now he's a big professional star. Can you tell us? I can't say. Is he here at Fan Expo? I don't know. Wildstorm will be releasing it. Yeah. So this is Wildstorm was going to release Cyberfrog Blood Honey back in 2010, and what ended up happening was that I don't know. Wildstorm kind of closed down. Wildstorm was bought by DC and kind of like closed down. They stopped publishing stuff. So Cyberfrog never came out, thank goodness. And it wouldn't have been right. You know, it wouldn't have been right back then. So I don't know. Oh, wow. What is this about cocaine? Everybody's talking to cocaine. Glenn Danzig is Mike Miller height. Glenn Danzig is not very tall. He's really big. He's got big shoulders. Who is the artist? You guys really want to know? Oh, should I do this to him? I could do it to him. Do you guys want to know who the artist for Cyberfrog Blood Honey 2010 was? All right, I'll do it. I'll do it to him. The answer is the artist was Tim Seeley. This is Tim Seeley's Cyberfrog Blood Honey artwork. As you can see, it would have been different. This is it's of course it's in black and white. As you can see, Cyberfrog is fighting giant cybernetic bees, and he's fighting. There's some women that are dressed like bees here. Some women dressed like bees. I don't really know why. I'm not sure. But Tim Seeley was like a huge Cyberfrog fan. Tim Seeley, 2010. And there he is. Look at him. What do you guys think? Yeah, amazing. Sexy bee. I don't know who the bee girls are. I'm not really sure. The Cyber Bee is kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, like, you know, wait a second. At the end of the day, I'm glad that I ended up doing it. I am. I'm glad I did it too. I wouldn't want to hand this off. People like the bees. People like the female bees. Yeah, but Cyberfrog wouldn't fight them. Look at them. They're cute. These bees, They look like strippers. Like they're not, they're not dangerous. How would these bees be dangerous? Oh, this one's got a knife. Liam Gray says, "Where are our sexy bee girls, Ethan? Jeez." Yeah. They're the bee girls from Blind Melon. They are. Yeah. Dynamo says, "How many pages did Tim Seeley actually draw?" 0. I wrote it, and I'm telling you, I might be able to find it. I wrote it, and you know, it's way, way different now. Just put it that way. It's way different now. I remember in the original, I remember a scene where the Vespis were lifting cows off the ground. They were like the Cyberfrog and all the surviving humans were in a van and they were driving west. They were headed west and they were trying to stay away from the Vespis. And I remember the Vespis were coming and lifting cows out of the field into the air and tried to pick up the van or something like that. Cyberfrog fought him on top of a van. I'm not sure. Yeah, everything is better with Monster Girls. People are interested. People now want bee thoughts. You guys want bee thoughts? Yeah, could do it. Freddie Drongo says Disar EVS but the out or blown the out. People like this art. People really dig it. Dynamo says in a few years, pay Mike or someone to draw and release this as an alternate reality version. Why would Mike do it? Pay Mike to do something dumb. I will. I'll pay Mike to do it. Mike, your job is to do blood honey, but like they're blood honeys. These are blood honeys. And Cyberfrog versus the blood honeys. God, that'd be awesome. Bee thoughts, be gone. All right. Wazoo says Mike will do anything for money. Mike will do anything for Bitcoin. Mike, do this and I'll pay you in Bitcoin. Yeah. Bee thoughts for Wrecked Planet. Can you imagine, like in Wrecked Planet, like these are survivors. These are young girls who grew up post invasion, and they, they're kind of fans of the Vespis. They worship the Vespis. I don't know, so they dress like this, and they're a pain in the ass. Blood hussies. Liam Gray says bee thoughts are a laugh, but might not work tonally. Liam, I'm way ahead of you. Matt Becker's in here. He's been Matt Becker's been rude all day long. I don't know what I did to Matt Becker. I'm not sure. Snowtep says, "Oh, so it's the history of the internet." Yeah, for real. Zebulon Pike says, "Have Cyberfrog visit a Philly strip club and the bee thoughts are performing." Mr. V calls them the biatches. The biatches. That wins. I think biatch wins. I'm pretty sure biatch wins, and that's what they are. Cyberfrog versus the biatches. Oh my god. Absolutely genius. I'm thrilled. So anyway, that is you'll learn a little bit of something today. This is pretty good. I like the detailing of the Robo Bee here. Tim Seeley's pretty good. And look at this. This is nice. You can't complain about that. Cameron Thomas says, "Do a book with Elliot. Matt Becker is a wiener." A lot of people are saying Matt Becker's a wiener tonight or this afternoon. They're saying Matt Becker is a wiener. The biatches. The biatches are fly honeys, says Inversion. Steve Ledetha says, "Don't assume be person, they, them, zero genders, you bigots." I don't know. I mean, are these, well, you're right. We shouldn't assume in this day and age. This was 2010, though. You were allowed to assume then. You were definitely allowed to assume, like in 2010. You could assume whatever you wanted. Jabba the Cuck says, "You got to be mean to Ethan sometimes." Why? Don't be mean to me ever. Matt Becker says, "Matt Becker rules." Spirits Car says, promise to pay Mike, then string him along for years. Well, why should I be different than anyone else who employs him? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hire Mike to draw a pointless Cyberfrog book. And then I'm going to tell him that I'm going to pay him. I'm going to pay him when he's done. And then I'm going to make him draw 6 issues and never pay him. Seems like a good deal. It sounds like a plan. Mike. That'd be funny. Yeah. It was better. 2010 was a better time, I think. People still like B thoughts. Yeah. Some people like this drawing, some people don't like it. I don't know what to tell you. It says 52 on it, which I think is reference to DC's new 52. I could be wrong. Skeetnet, wow, thanks for another $20. He says, here's another $20 for Wildstorm. Now I have to add DC to the places that I pray for. Oh, I can't read that. Shame I'm a DC fan too. Tom King is cancer incarnate. I can read all that stuff. Hugh Jass says, after your reading, I refunded Lone Star. Thanks for $2. Oh, God. Art T. Bear goes, the Meg. When have I heard that before? Yeah, I know. Inkspot says, I like everything but the Cyberfrog. Inkspots is a great artist. He painted over and did digital paints on some Rainbow Brute drawings. So they look really, really great. They look fantastic. Yeah, he's good like that. See, I mean, you know what's pretty cool is like you guys said who was going to draw that, and I had it at the ready. I was actually ready to show you. I was ready to show you who was going to draw it, and I had evidence for it. I had evidence that Tim Seeley was going to draw it. It's even dated 2010. That is good radio. That is great radio. I did a good job there. You guys cannot complain. I had gave you information. I had evidence to back up the information, and all is well. You guys want to talk about something stupid? Let's talk about something stupid for a while. Oh, I don't know if I could do this. Are you guys paying attention to the SJWs trying to unionize comics? I got to go to Kiwi Farms here. Hold on a second. Let me just check on something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing. People go, why? Why are SJWs trying to unionize? Why are SJWs taking over comics? Like, what was the point of that? Why are they trying to take over comics? And you don't really know why. I mean, you can kind of abstractly say, well, they're trying to, they want their message to get out. Like they want to use comics as a platform for their message. And yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. These SJWs do want comics to sort of do nothing but talk about their ideas and advertise their own politics and everything like that. That's definitely a thing. But another thing is they're communists. They're just communists, dude. All they want to do is unionize. They want to kick out anybody like me because let me tell you something. If comics were unionized, I would not pay my dues. And I would also cross the picket line. There is no way I would join a strike with these weirdos. There is no way I would ever do that. I would be on the side of the company at all times. So somebody like me needs to be thrown out. Liam Gray says, B thoughts could be infiltrators, spies for the Vespis. So look at this. Oh my God, who is this person? Why do they have this avatar? Let me tell you something. If I see a girl with half of a shaved head and glasses, I run. And especially if the hair is brightly colored. I don't know if this is a natural color. I'm not sure what this is meant to represent. But this is something else. And then you also add a picture of an animal, a pet, like somebody who is completely incapable of having a regular friendship with another human being who objectifies their pet too much. That is an SJW. That is mostly a soy boy. Let's unionize comics. Only a few days left to participate. Comics pros, please consider taking this survey if you haven't yet. I have 250 responses to my comics workplace survey so far. I currently have over 550 responses. 600 is my goal. Let's do this. Can you imagine Can you imagine these people? Do you understand what they're doing? The comic book industry is on its last legs. The comic book industry is literally it's limping at this point. It is limping. There is nothing, there's no money to be had. And not only that, the people who are working in it are doing a terrible job. Nobody needs comic books. Nobody needs them. They're fun. They're a fun thing. These people want to unionize comics and they want to like force companies to employ them. They want to force companies to not be able to choose who to hire and fire. They want to actually unionize SJWs within the comic book industry and protect their jobs. But it gets worse than that. Darth Gavel, thanks for $5. EVS, thoughts on the WHO declaring gaming as a disease? Well, it's bullshit. I mean, I'm not a big fan of gaming, but it's not a disease at all. It's weird. All right, so casual reminder that I'm not being paid to conduct this restart. So if you want to tip me, I'm linking my coffee below. I mean, it's just like, hey, I'm trying to unionize comics and I'm holding out a cup. Analysis time is coming. I appreciate the support. We are over 700. Can we hit 1,000 responses by the end of the month? Comics Pros, if you're still holding off on taking the workplace survey, you've got 3 days left to participate. Link here if you want. This is absolutely incredible. These people have no shame at all. Now, what is this that they're talking about? This is what, first of all, SJWs have ruined comics. They've taken comic books which are meant to be fun, these superhero comics, which should be, you know, just rock and roll, basic, sexy fun like this. This is fun. This is fun. There's no social message here, everyone. Cyberfrog and Vampirella and Salamandroid, they're out to crush bees and get dripped in and get covered in blood honey. That's what they're out to do. There's no social message here. I'm not trying to teach you nothing. I'm just trying to show you a good time. These people want to take over the comic books. They want to take these mainstream characters that everyone loves and they want to turn them into weird, I mean, just weird, degenerate nonsense. Everything has to be about race. Everything has to be about sexual preference. Everything has to be about trans issues. Everything has to be about stuff that's coming out of your ears when you watch TV. You watch CNN, it's coming out of your left ear. You're tired of it. You just want a place to escape the constant proselytizing for left-wing concerns. That's what comic books are meant to be. Downshift says Doug has a pet rat in his avatar. Thoughts? You know, the jokes write themselves. We have to escape this. We have to. But see, SJWs don't want to escape this. They want to actually do this and make it worse. They want to take your characters, turn them into weirdos. They want to create Mary Sue characters, kill your white male characters for some reason, replace them with bland female alternatives that are constantly being emotionally validated, that are perfect in every single way. And that are just kick-ass social justice warrior badasses. That's what they want to do. And then on top of that, they want all of their needs paid for by the companies that tolerate them. They come and they squat in a company, ruin their characters, ruin their comics, drive their sales down, and then say, yes, but I have healthcare needs. Can you pay for my healthcare? Yes, but I have housing needs. Can you pay for my housing? Yeah, if you want to fire this guy for mouthing off, if you want to fire Chuck Wendig for telling people to eat a boot covered in shit, you're going to have to fire all of us. We're striking. We're your, vital workforce. These idiots are crazy. They're absolutely crazy. All right, for people who are just coming in, this is the Vampirella Cyberfrog crossover variant cover. It is currently available. I just launched this Indiegogo campaign. The link is in the description below. Make sure that you go and back this, buy the regular variant, buy the variant cover without a logo, or maybe you just want the black and white variant cover. That's right here. If you want all three, you can get them for $50, which means that you're getting one for free. If you want all three of them, and I will autograph them, that's $100. You're going to get every one of these variant covers, all different versions of it. I will sign all of them. Make sure that you do that. Support this cause. Support Cyberfrog and Vampirella together. I mean, this is fantastic. Cyberfrog, Comicsgate character, the biggest crowdfunded comic book of all time, appearing side by side with a mainstream comic book character. We just passed $11,000. Thank you, guys. First hour and 45 minutes, and we've made $11,270. Appreciate it. All right, so back to this. Amy Chu, God bless you. She says, I think there should be a rule. If you're exclusive to a publisher, they should at least cover your health insurance, just like they do for every full time worker. Discuss. Okay, well, that used to be a thing, actually. That used to be a thing until Obamacare came along. And Obamacare destroyed exclusive contractual healthcare arrangements. They became unaffordable. I was there. I know. I used to have my healthcare plan through DC Comics, through Warner Brothers. I would pay half of it, and they would pay the other half of it, and it was a pretty good deal. But basically, every single year after Obama was elected, the prices skyrocketed. I mean, it was like, we're going to double your health insurance, double it again, until finally they canceled it. They canceled it. Okay, they said, well, we just can't afford to do it anymore. We can't afford to meet all the demands that are put on us for our plan. It's too expensive. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut you a check for 10 grand and you can figure it out. You're still exclusive, but we're going to cut you a check. You're going to have to find your own independent healthcare plan. Okay, and that's what people did. That is what normal people did. But see, far left wingers like you killed the idea. They made it impossible. They made it impossible for companies like Warner Brothers to actually extend their healthcare plans to their freelancers. And I don't care if you're exclusive. Okay, now this is the other thing. Exclusive contracts are handed out to certain extraordinary professionals because the companies want this person, this artist, this writer to work exclusively for them and get 100% of their output and not work somewhere else. No competition. You're working for us. The idea that if you're exclusive to any publisher, they should cover your health insurance is one thing. But then these same SJW weirdos are saying at the same time that exclusive contracts should be handed out to everyone. Everyone. So in other words, this oh God, these people are, oh, I'm so glad I don't work in the mainstream. And I'm so glad that like I don't have to tolerate this. I don't have this problem. You know, when the mainstream allows these people so much power, and they just allow them to say whatever they want to say and run around and make rules and cause trouble with their whisper networks and all of this nonsense, this is what happens. You give them the delusion that everyone deserves to be treated like they are special. Everyone gets an exclusive contract. Even people who cannot sell 4,000 copies of a book per month get an exclusive contract. And with that comes the company paying for their health care. That is just not something that is tenable. That is just not something that's affordable. And in this industry at this point in time, that is flat out insanity. But see, that is what these people are after right now. That is absolutely what these people are after. They want to make it difficult. They need to shut Comicsgate down because we're the voice that actually points out their insanity. These people are actually killing the comic book industry. And while it's dying, they're still trying to suck blood from a stone. I mean, they're still, hey, we know that we can't sell comics anymore. We know that this is the third year in a row that sales have plummeted. We know that retail shops are going out of business. We know the direct market is dying. We know that we're causing you trouble. We know that we've turned comic books into a gigantic political problem. This is all MSNBC now, MSNBC, full time everywhere you go. But will you also cover our health insurance? You have to. You should. For every other full-time worker. We're full-time workers. I mean, this is not the relationship, by the way, that a freelancer, even if they are exclusive, has with the company. You understand? This is not the relationship. That's not what the deal is. You're not an employee of Marvel or DC. You're not employed by them. Not as such. The deal here's what I want people to understand. When you work for Marvel or DC, you might just imagine yourself as a caterer. Okay, you're somebody who produces a product. Now, caterers, they make food, and they show up and they, hey, we've hired, Ethan Van Sciver, the caterer. I'd make some good stuff to do our wedding. Okay, we've hired Ethan Van Sciver, the caterer, to do our wedding, and I show up and I provide a big buffet of food, and it's great. And you pay me my money for the buffet that I, offered to your wedding, that I brought to your wedding, and that's it. Now, do I work for you? Yeah. Am I your employee? No, I'm not. You contracted me. I'm a contractor. We have a little short contractual agreement, and that's it. Now, whatever you guys do, like whatever the wedding couple at the if they have their own business or something like that, aside from their wedding, those are their employees. Marvel has employees, their editorial staff. Tom Brevoort is an employee. I'm sure he gets his healthcare covered. DC has employees and staff. Dan DiDio is an employee of DC Comics, an employee of Warner Brothers. I'm sure he has a healthcare plan. But we were not. We're not. Now, when you offer us an exclusive contract, that does not suddenly make us your employees who are entitled to healthcare benefits. That just means we're the caterers and we're full-time catering for your whatever it is. We're catering every single day for you and only you. But we're not your employees. We're still, private contractors. We just have an exclusive agreement with you. So that's what this is. These people think that they are on the same level as editors or assistant editors. You don't get health insurance unless it's part of a contractual agreement. And by the way, even then you're going to end up paying half of it. And that went extinct. That just doesn't exist anymore. That was around when the comic book industry was creating comics that everybody wanted to buy. When everybody wanted to buy comics and a comic book was making somebody $2 million in royalties alone, then yeah, there was healthcare because people wanted you. You're making $2,000 or $2 million an issue. We need you. We want you to work for us. Now the comic book industry is suffering. It's publishing comics so that people don't yell at them. Hey, we want to do a comic book, a superhero team that's entirely transgendered. Well, that doesn't. Nobody wants to read that. People don't want to read most people don't want to read a comic book that's that kind of niche, right? It's just a little too. What are you, a bigot? You should publish the. I don't know. The Justice League, the JLT, Justice League of Transgendered Heroes. Okay, I better do it. And then boom, it sells 5,000 copies. I mean, it's blackmail. It's all just social blackmail all the time. It's just social blackmail. So these same people who are doing this social blackmail within the comic book industry are now asking to be treated like rock stars, to be treated like employees, to have all of their basic needs covered. These people are children. They're adult children. I don't know who this person is. As a lady who receives pitches as part of her job, please take this as your permission to send out a pitch you weren't sure about today, because I promise there's a white guy out there pitching worse and more inappropriately than you. This is the comic book industry right now. What is this? What exactly is this racism? What is this sexism here? What is this notion in this little head here that's going on? This little head has a notion that white people, white guys, are getting all the jobs when they're terrible. Manifestly, the opposite is true. Manifestly, people who are not white guys, who are terrible, are getting all the jobs. They're getting all the jobs. They're getting all the jobs. They're terrible. Their books are terrible. They're not selling. I'm trying to think of a white guy who's getting. Well, I mean, there are a few that are not that great, but they're still pretty good. This is just. It's so awful. Look at this face. What is going on in the comic book industry? Oh, it does it get worse than this? Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh. Oh. Bisexual lighting and murder. Unionized, and then something about union in the. Any comic that says it's about feminism and then centers only the experience of cis white women and won't hear concerns or criticisms from trans women and allies doesn't deserve 12 issues. Send it, tweet. All right, so this is them actually consuming Chelsea Kane. Chelsea Kane, who is no friend of Comicsgate. Chelsea Kane, great big SJW. Famous at this point for what? She is the person who did the Mockingbird comic book. Diversity and Cecil's out there. He's chanting, hey ho, EVS has got to go. They're picketing me now. Shameeves, thanks for $10. Don't SJW pros use freelance contractor status as an excuse to talk shit on Twitter without being a representative of a country? I don't think they thought this one through. Employee or not, pick one. Great point. Great point. Mm-mm-mm. So Chelsea Kane puts out a comic book called Mockingbird, and the front cover of the comic book has Mockingbird wearing a T-shirt that says "Ask me about my feminist agenda." And this is one of the things that kind of kicks off Comicsgate. You know, it's like, hey, what's with all of the far left wing comics or nonsense in comics right now? What is that? Now, Chelsea Kane was a big hero of the left of SJWs and comics for a long time, but she did something wrong. She put out a comic book through Image, and the comic book was about young girls who menstruate. And when they menstruate, they turn into cat women or werewolves or something. Now, some crazy people, SJWs, said, well, your comic is supposed to be about the experience of women, right? And she's like, well, I guess. And she goes, well, what about trans women? Why can't trans women be in this? Well, trans women don't menstruate. They don't. I mean, I know, but they don't. They don't. So they can't turn into werewolves. They can't. Sorry. That's what Chelsea Kane says. So because of this, these crazy people have turned on Chelsea Kane, have turned on her like attack dogs, and they're tearing her up because her comic is supposed to represent all women, not just straight cis white women, all women, even trans women. And now they've turned on her. Let me see this one. This is crazy. Include also concerns and criticisms from, but not limited to, Black women, brown women, Asian women, NB femmes. What's an NB femme? Trans women with no interest in transitioning, and anyone else who does not think Chelsea Kane speaks for them with me. She sure doesn't speak for me. So Chelsea Kane wanted to do this book, and I mean, is it a good idea? I mean, it's kind of clever in a way, but it's also kind of weird and gross. And you know, it's like, okay, so these young girls, they get their periods and they become werecat monsters. It's kind of it's all right. You know, I guess if like it might appeal to some audience. I don't know. I don't really know. But she made the mistake. She made the mistake. Oh, NB is non-binary femmes. What the hell? She made the mistake of not having that comic include all of these categories, all of them. And so therefore, she must be destroyed. She must be destroyed. She did a comic book about girl power, but she didn't include one of every single kind of SJW notion of femininity. And because of that, they're going to destroy her life. These people are bored. These people are absolutely bored. And you know why they're bored? And you know what's not going to help them? Having their housing and their healthcare paid for free. That's not going to help these people. Giving these people less to worry about, less real world concerns to worry about, is not going to help them. It's not going to help them at all. Let's keep reading. We subtweet too much. I'm tired of pretending we don't know what or who we are talking. It's only you. Man-eaters is way too turfy and would be much easier to take if any time we brought up concerns, we weren't attacked for having apprehensions. Just leave. It's a stupid comic book. Darth Gavel says Blair White does not wish to be represented. So I wish to be represented. Diversity and Cecil says comic rights are human rights. Liam Gray, thanks for $2. Check all the boxes or against the wall, SJWs. I mean, you just wake up one day and you decide to persecute Chelsea Kane for what reason? I mean, just for the hell of it. And I think what it is honestly, these people choose big targets and then they're doing it. They're trying to get clout. They're trying to get attention. It's just like, who was this person who found on the cereal box? I don't know. There's a cartoon on the back of a cereal box of grains of cereal playing. And the one grain of cereal that was a janitor that was sweeping up was darker than the rest of them. And so he got on the news. The world is coming apart, you know? I mean, it's like the world is falling apart and these weirdos, these SJW weirdos are focused on The worst minutia, the dumbest of dumb shit, while everyone else is trying to pay their bills. They're in the way. They're trying to prevent you from paying your bills while they're harassing and persecuting you, but not only you, but each other. Carl Manvers, thank you for $5. Back to watch you beat your goal in minutes, maybe seconds. Thank you. I know, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Every single time I ask for your support, I get it. And I'm grateful for it. I'm definitely grateful. All right, what's next here? Vita Ayala. Oh, this is interesting. Actually, this is interesting. I have been told as recently as 2 years ago that making black people too dark and any darker than me, a lighter black person, in comics would mean they print weird. Tech is advanced. General attitude has not come as far. Yeah, that's one of those things that you have to admit. It's like I never thought of that, but yeah, like look at the way comics used to be printed. Like they were printed in dots here. So how do you get that skin color, that dark skin color, and still, I don't know, do it with these colored dots? I don't. For colorism or the ashiness of it all, but at the same time, I mean, that's an interesting concern. Like it really is a concern that is, I might spend 5 seconds thinking about. I don't want to spend too much longer than that thinking about it. And this art, like articles like this that focus on that, like all of the problems within comics that don't really exist, but we're going to invent. We just thought of something that's troublesome. Hurting comics. This is just more, just beating comics down. Like in 645, thanks for £10. Looking for support in convincing Simon Mann to release his book Cry Havoc as a comic series under parody, so we can see his side of the failed Equatorial Guinea coup. I support you. I support you in that. I think other people do too, and thank you for that. And what do you think of this? What do you think that womenwriteaboutcomics.com, oh my God, they wrote an article about the fact that these dots that used to be four-color printing, okay, couldn't make black people black enough. What do you think of that? I mean, is that something? Is that something, or is it nothing? I don't know. It certainly is weird. Here's Daryl Ayo. This guy. Daryl Ayo is a weirdo. Big old SJW. Daryl Ayo was one of the guys who, a couple years ago, was going around all over the internet calling me a white supremacist. And by the way, this is what made me Comicsgate. I wasn't Comicsgate before. People say, why did you become Comicsgate? Well, because once people established that I was a Trump supporter and thus I needed to be destroyed, okay, I voted for Trump. Was proud of it. Was happy that I won, that he won. I won too. They decided that they would target me for destruction. And the way that they did that was they started to tell everybody that I was a white supremacist and a Nazi. And this character, this depressed looking character, was one of those people who was doing that. He's running all over the internet, calling me a white supremacist. Now, I name search sometimes. So I saw this and I went, who is this guy? Why does he think I'm a white supremacist? Now, I had this YouTube channel. It was young, fledgling. I was interviewing people regularly, treating people that I disagreed with respect. That was back when I respected people who were SJWs. I don't anymore. But I made the mistake of thinking, well, look, I can take this guy, this clown. I can put him on the air. And by the way, one night he was going off on John Malin. I mean, just calling John Malin a Nazi. And I said, that's enough. I said, Daryl, just come on. Let's talk about it. Let's come online and let's talk about it. We'll try to find some common ground. How very, very naive. How naive to think that you can talk to an SJW and change their mind. You cannot. I offered Daryl Ayo a chance to talk about it, and he used it as he screamed that it was harassment. I made a big deal out of it. He's harassing me. He's trying to forcing me to. He's going to sandbag me. I control my own narrative. I control my own narrative. And it was a thing, and that's when I realized SJWs weren't real people. Because I mean, any other person, here's the thing. I mean, say what you want about Alexis Filth, but she's not an SJW. Alexis Filth, transgendered, was offered a chance to come on the show. She wanted to argue with me on Twitter. Alexis Filth came on the show. Now, that automatically is a non-SJW thing to do. SJWs aren't interested. They make fun of the idea of debate. Debate me. They make fun of that idea because that really doesn't serve their purpose. Their purpose isn't to debate you or to be proved right or wrong. Their purpose is to shut you up and to win, to destroy you. So, that's it. If somebody wants to actually come on and have a conversation, a meeting of the minds, I mean, even if you end up disagreeing at the end of it still, that's a non-SJW thing to do. That's something to be respected. Darrell would not do it because he's an SJW and a clown. And his whole purpose was to reestablish that he is being victimized. This is a guy who spent a year calling me a Nazi, calling me a white supremacist, which I am not. And at the time, took that very, very seriously. I wasn't aware of the clown world. I wasn't aware of it. I was like, why is this? No, I'm not. Like, this guy thinks I am, but I'm not. So I'll have a talk with him about it. He'll say, no, that wasn't his purpose. His purpose was to continue to defame and destroy a Republican in comics. So F this guy. He has since lost his job. He is unemployed. Good. You should be unemployed. Eat cat food. He says, I was at a job interview and he seriously asked why I wanted to work there. And so there's more of this. I don't even read Darrell. He goes, my guy, the fuck is wrong with you? Daryl, kindly ask this guy for a job. But why do you want to work here? Again, I direct you to my resume, which you have read and is also in front of you. Entitled, snotty. Can you imagine? This guy's asking you a question. He's saying, why do you want to work here? That's a standard question that somebody at a job interview will ask you. To which you say, you know what? I think I could do a good job. And I think this is the kind of work that I can do. I can advance really quickly. I can make some good money. And I think it's going to benefit both of us to have me working here for you. Simple. Most people know how to deal with that. But this guy, he's asking Daryl to let down his pride and give an explanation for why he wants to work wherever this is. The fuck is wrong with you? 4 question marks. We both want something out of this. Why are you acting like I'm begging for a favor? He's not. He just wants to know. He wants to get a sense of your general attitude. And if you're going to be a problem or if you're going to be a benefit. If you're going to be too much trouble. Are you going to be too much trouble? More trouble than you're worth to hire Daryl? Turns out he sussed it out pretty quick. You are going to be too much trouble. I hope you did not get the job. Your attitude is pretty clear. It's pretty clear. Look at him. And it ends with, we need universal basic income now. He wants to be paid for nothing. How dare this employer ask him to try to get a sense of his motivation? I mean, hell, if you're going to go work at McDonald's, I can't stand people who think they're too good for work. Can't stand that. Boy, is that an ugly attitude. Hey, why do you want to work at McDonald's? I've been eating McDonald's food my whole life. I like it. I think it's a good American restaurant. And I don't know. I see myself rising up in the ranks and maybe being a manager here one day. I know the food. I know the menu. I like talking to people. I like working with people. And everyone here seems nice. So I'd like to work here, please. What are you, too good? You're too good for work. You're too good to answer that question and explain why what your motivation is. How driven you're going to be as an employee. Are you going to be somebody who they want around, they want to pay? Infuriating. Johannes Aman, thanks for €2. I just protested EVS by throwing a €2 milkshake. Thank you, pal. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. John Chedester says, I will throw a free $2 milkshake. Thank you. Sheriff of Nottingham says, Ethan, you're hired. Thank you. I would. I'm going to be like American Beauty. Just get a job at fast food. Be like, I give up. I'm shrugging. I want to do a job with the least possible responsibility. I laughed so hard when I saw that movie. I would eat all the microwave pies. That is the problem. They would suss that out right away. They'd say, do you like our pies? I'd be like, no, not any more than anyone else. And they'd be like, you're lying. And I'd be fired. So this guy doesn't want to answer questions. This idiot who spent a year calling me a white supremacist, made a fool of himself, lost his job. Now he's looking for a job, and he can't even get through an interview. He can't even seem like a winner in an interview. He's put upon. As somebody asks him a question about why he wants to work there, he's aggravated, put upon, arrogant. How dare you? He feels condescended to. Hey, you are condescended to. You're speaking to your future boss. Get ready to be condescended to. No, I don't want to work anymore. We need universal basic income. Everybody has to pay for my ass. That's what these people, you have to understand what these SJWs are doing. Step one was to get in there and change all of these characters, ruin these characters, establish yourself. Step two was to gatekeep out anyone who was trouble. Step three is this. It's to communize. It's to socialize, I should say, the comic book industry. They want to socialize what's left of the comic book industry. These people are insane. They're insane. This is why they want you to tell them why their company is so awesome. Okay, you muscled away the hundreds of other opportunities just to speak to them. Look, this guy's being sarcastic. How you've admired them from afar for years, and working there would fulfill one of your most cherished wishes. And the same idiot here, a guy last week asked me why I want to work in Portland last week, why I want to be in Portland last week, completely without understanding the scope, and I choked. I had to scramble to avoid saying, because unemployment demands I apply locally. Can I do the job or not? Stop fucking with me. These people are unemployable. These people are unemployable. They have so much pride and zero work ethic. So much pride, zero work ethic. They can't stand the idea of having to make money. They have no ambition to make money. They want to be handed money. And they don't want to feel like they're begging for it. It's fucking horrible, dude. You say, what are these SJWs? When you're talking about SJWs in comics, Ethan, what are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. These people are mentally ill. These people are ruining the comic book industry. They're ruining the comic book industry. By the way, am I helping the comic book industry? Let's just check really quick. Vampirella Cyberfrog exclusive variant cover. The link is in the description. If you would like to drive SJWs nuts and also get a really, really nice exclusive Cyberfrog collectible with Vampirella on it for Vampirella's 50th anniversary, here it is right here. Make sure to back it. Boom, we're at $12,040. Thank you, guys. I love you. I love you. I'm like Salamandroid talking to Chelsen. I love you. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Back this comic. This is the solution. By the way, it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes, $12,000. That's not bad. Really appreciate you guys. It's cool. All right, so where were we? Let's get back to this. First time writes. No wonder with attitudes like that, you are all unemployable. All right, so this is Chelsea Kane. They're attacking her for her book Man-Eaters, which is about young girls who get their period and become werewolves or I don't know. And they're being attacked. Oh wow, RPD, thanks for $20. The main problem is these people think the world owes them something. Mama told them so when they were growing up. They can be anything they want to be. Ugh. A lot of people saying love you too, no homo. No homo, yeah. I was turned off by the premise alone. Women on their periods turn into monsters and attack men. I don't know a feminist who would co-sign something that dredges up old and actually misogynistic ideas. It sounds like a very angry 19-year-old made this up after getting dumped. Well, a feminist made it up. Her name was Chelsea Kane. Let's read on. My turning point was when an alt-right male comics fan said he supported this kind of feminism over all the others. And I was like, LMAO, bye. Who was that? What alt-right male comics fan said that? If your feminism is actually liked by the right wing, that's not good. What, do you have to just be grotesque and irritable to normal people? The right wing is normal. They're normal people. So what are you saying? That your ideas have to be repellent to normal people? Or else it's not good. She herself isn't a bad person, but hopefully someone is there to tell her this is that this comics is sending the wrong message. I wish anyone who wants to try the best of luck. She doesn't take even well-intentioned criticism well, which sucks for people who want that book to do so much better story-wise than it is. You are not well-intentioned criticism. You are SJWs You want to sabotage her because you're bored. Okay, I don't like her comic. I just don't like it. I think it's garbage. But it's an okay idea. It's an okay idea for what it is. It's just a little gross. It's a little tasteless. That's my well-intentioned criticism, and it is well-intentioned. I don't care if she succeeds or fails. Couldn't care less. Has nothing to do with me. But if you're asking me my opinion about this book, I haven't read it. I just know the concept. My opinion is, yeah, it's a gross concept, but it's kind of clever. And I don't know. Good luck. Black D Dragon, thanks for 10 euros. They sound like they are entitled to a job. Does the US not have basic training for job hunting like in Germany, where you learn to ass kiss in job interviews? Black D Dragon, they did when I was a kid. But I mean, they don't now. I mean, these people really feel somewhere along the way, left wingers in America and maybe in Canada decided that they're entitled to all of these things as basic human rights and that life should not be a struggle. There should be no struggle to life. You shouldn't have to compete. Things should just be handed to you because, God forbid, I think all these people should starve in an alley. I think it'd be good for them. The best thing for these people would be homelessness in an alley. That would be the best thing for them. And it's only because I love them in a Christian kind of way. Richard Dunn, thanks for £2. Says backed. Comicsgate reigns supreme. Forward. Thank you, Richard Dunn. Hell yes. That's the thing. When when your dad catches you smoking and you're 12 and he makes you smoke a whole carton, it's like, it's tough love. Tough love for these people would just be like extreme poverty. Until you learn, I don't know. How do you learn? How do you learn a work ethic? How do you acquire a work ethic when you have purple hair? How do you do that? Get out there and work. Beg for a job. Do whatever you got to do to get a job. You got it. They ask you, why do you want to work here? Say, I want to work here because I'm excited about working here. Diversity and Cecil says, not employing AO is not a good look, EVS. Be better. I will. And then these people, by the way, Chelsea Kane, say what you want about her. She's a novelist. She actually does work hard. She works in comics. She stands up for herself. I mean, she's an SJW, or is she? She's a feminist. I don't know if she's an SJW or not anymore. Because I don't see her out there trying to destroy people. I just see her being a feminist, being kind of obnoxious. Snowtep, thanks for $5. Here's money now. Please never say I love you in that way again. I love you. By the way, I'm on Instagram as Snowtep. I draw cartoons. Y'all might like it. I'm funny. Go check them out. Chelsea Kane's out there producing things and trying to make money, and she does stand up for herself. And these people do nothing. They do nothing. They want things handed to them, and then they see one of their own. They're like crabs in a bucket. They see Chelsea Kane actually producing something that's garbage, I think. But they just want to beat her down. I don't know why. I don't know what Chelsea Kane did to deserve being beaten down by these people. I'm not sure. It can't be because these characters that get their powers from, menstruation aren't trans. It can't be. That's just unreal. That's not fair. Like, that's funny. That's funny to normal people. But to SJWs, that should be a line. That should be unfair. That's not fair. That's asking too much. No. Oh, here we have a cuck. Thank you for saying this. When the first issue came out, I spoke to a friend privately about my feelings concerning the book and how I was afraid to express them online for fear of being attacked. You motherfucker. You disgusting human being. You piece of human filth. Thank you for saying this. Thank you for attacking and demeaning and destroying Chelsea Kane. I read her book. It wasn't meant for you. It wasn't meant for you. I think that's what SJWs would say. It wasn't meant for you. It was meant for little girls. It's about menstruation. Heroes in menstruation. When the first issue came out, I spoke to a friend privately. Hey, my friend, can I talk to you in private? Do you promise you won't tell anyone? You promise this can just stay between you and me? Just don't tell anyone. I'm really okay. I promise. You can tell me, Ken. Ken, I'm here for you. You have a concern? I'm a friend. I'll listen. It's just between you and me. Okay, here it is. I read Chelsea Kane's Man-Eaters, and it didn't feature trans characters. There just wasn't the representation required to make everyone feel included. And I'm afraid to say anything online because I don't want to be attacked. You know? Ken, I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. You soy boy cucked out piece of shit. Ken, I'm telling everybody. Ken, you shouldn't have confided in me. I'm going to tell everyone about your feelings concerning the book and how you were afraid to express them online because you were afraid of being attacked. I'm going to tell everybody, Ken, you pussy. Ken, I'm telling everybody, you pussy. You shouldn't have confided in me. You don't have any real friends. Ken, what a douchebag. That's how I imagine that scene going. That's how I imagine. I'm so by the way, let's validate this chunk here. Look at this guy. And here comes this purple-haired weirdo with the I want to see what this person really looks like. I swear to God. I'm so sorry. If all I ever do is speak things that others are scared to for their own wellness and safety, I'll feel like I've done something good in this dumb industry. So let's review. This person here is bullying Chelsea Kane for not putting transgendered people in her comic book. I'm sure she has no problem with transgender people. And in fact, I'm sure if you asked Chelsea Kane, she would tell you that her concerns were for all, representation for all. But this particular book is just about this little group of girls. It's not about everyone in the world. It's just this little group of girls. That's all. I'm telling a story about them. It's not about representation in this case necessarily. It's just about the experience of this group of characters that I've created. It's like Stand By Me. Stand By Me was a little group of boys. It wasn't meant to. Stephen King certainly cares. He cares about everyone. But this story was just about these people here. So she goes out there, this bisexual lightning and murder, whatever this weirdo is, gets out there and bullies Chelsea Kane, starts trouble and says blah, 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 all this stuff. This dude, this chunky soy beard, he's like, thank you. You're a hero. I wanted to bully her too, but I was afraid. Well, listen, I'm so sorry I'm sorry you had hurt fifis. I'm sorry that you were afraid to bully Chelsea Kane. Now, if I can just do one thing with my life, I just want to make people who are pretending to be afraid to bully people who are not following the SJW narrative. I want those people to feel better. I want them to feel safe. I want these weirdos to feel safe in bullying other human beings who are not following the SJW narrative. I want them to feel well and safe. If I can do that, I'll feel like I've done some good in this dumb industry that I want to soak. This dumb industry that's making no money off of our work that I want to utterly soak. Do you understand? Do you understand who these people are yet? All right, let's keep going. Holy shit, you are the realist. People are afraid. People are afraid of these psychopaths. Metrotron's Cube says, I wanted to bully, but the tweet reprisals scared me. Right. Fortunately, we have heroes like bisexual lightning and murder. Thanks. That's my favorite compliment. And this just goes on. By the way, let's take a minute to plug Cyberfrog Vampirella. Cyberfrog Vampirella exclusive variant cover. The comic book that has upset everyone. Now, when we announced that we were doing this exclusive variant cover, SJWs, like the weirdos that we are discussing, panicked and started threatening Dynamite Comics. You can't let them. What we need to do is make this comic book a great big success. If you have not yet backed Cyberfrog and Vampirella, the exclusive variant cover, we've got many tiers. Tiers like the good kind, like levels, not tiers like the SJW tiers that currently fill my outdoor swimming pool, and it is beautiful. $20 regular variant comic. That is the cover. You're going to get this. Wait, you're going to get this, except it's going to have a logo on it, trade dress, and everything. It'll be very, very nice. $20 also variant cover without the logo. It'll look just like this. The artwork will not be interrupted. So $20. $30 black and white variant. It'll look just like this. No logo, just the black and white line artwork. By the way, the rarest version. Maybe you don't want to choose. Maybe you want all three. $50. That actually gets you one of these for free. So for $50, you're going to get all three of these awesome variant covers. One of them is going to be free. Maybe you want them all. I want all three of them, and Ethan, I want you to autograph them. Oh, you son of a gun. Well, I will be happy to. For $100, you can have all three of these covers with my blessing. I will sign them all for you. You will have one of everything autographed, shipped to you very, very safely and securely. That is the way that we do things. Thank you for that. I mean, this is pretty great. Just a variant cover. The cover is the only part of this book that is my art. The interior is a fun story called Vampirella versus the Reanimator, written by Cullen Bunn. Terrific artwork inside by Blackie Shepherd. Exclusive new cover by me. Just me doing one single cover for Vampirella has made these people lose their effing minds. Be a part of that. Be a part of that. Deny these people basic income and housing. Do be a part of that by supporting Vampirella, Cyberfrog and Vampirella, the exclusive variant cover with my thank you. Boom, we're at $12,620. Every time I update it, it does great. It does great. So thank you so much. All right, let's get back to this. Cecil, do you want to come on? People are saying get Cecil on this stream. I thought I invited Cecil. Could be wrong. Cecil's in the chat. Sometimes Cecil just likes to sit in the chat and he doesn't want to come in. You never know with him. Let me see. Cecil, paste. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Hold on, Cecil. I'll be right with you. Cecil, I'm sending you the link. I'm sending you the link, Cecil. Just hang on tight. And together, we'll talk about universal income and housing for fake comic book pros. That's what we need to do. All right, Cecil, you have the link. So if you want to come in here, come on in. Star Wars Girl wants to come in. Oh, Anna can come in. That'd be cool. Hold on a second. Star Wars Girl. Oops. There she. No, that's not her. That's Star Wars Girl. There she is. I just put in Star Wars Girl. That was a problem. It was a real problem.
Ho ho.
Oh, there he is. Hey,
has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho ho. EVS has got to go. AO writes now. AO writes now. I've been going crazy over here. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Is it fun or what?
Writing Spider-Man is a human right.
I mean, this is honestly, you know what? You know how I feel? I feel flushed and angry. Like, I mean, this is the kind of stuff, and you get it all in a row here. This is them. They really are talking about unionizing now, and it's important to them. They think that they can do it. They think they've gotten themselves into a position where they've driven out all opposition. They think they've beaten Comicsgate. You guys have not beaten Comicsgate. And they think now they're in a position to bully these comic book companies into universal exclusive contracts, which include universal healthcare. But also, Cecil, they have this idea that the comic book industry, working in comics, should be like Big Brother. It should be like they get 6 people in a house.
They could sell tickets for that. I'd pay per view to see what Mark Waid does in a house alone.
No, I wouldn't.
Wait, for $9 a month, would you not want a camera on Mark Waid at all time? It's less than 2 cups of Starbucks.
I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to see Mark Waid.
Mark Wade rights are human rights, you fascist.
That's true. David Hughes, thanks for $4.99. It's so easy. If we want it, we will buy it. If not, we won't, regardless of who made it. If you want social change, take it to the ballot box. Amen, brother. All right. Here we go. Holy shit, you're the realist. All right, so let's go on to something else here. Amanda Meadows, I don't know who this person is, but they have danger hair. See, so what does danger hair mean?
Well, danger hair is when a person colors their hair to warn others that they are poison.
Now, are there cases of this in the animal kingdom? I mean, like...
Yes, the monarch butterfly is bright orange, and it is very bitter tasting and sometimes poisonous to predators. So most animals leave them alone.
The same as like poison arrow dart frogs, like those, they have poisonous frogs in the jungles, in the rainforest, that are super bright colors. I mean, they're really beautiful, but they're really warning other animals, like, taste us at your peril. We will kill you if you bite us. It's danger hair. So this is a danger haired person. When you see a person with bright hair,
but there are other sea creatures that use colors to allure people in, like predators in, and then they attack them.
Oh, that's interesting.
So to some species that would be alluring, and to other species it would be a warning.
Story time with Yang Yao Zhao says, so that's why gingers have red hair. I don't know, the orange, the red hair, that orange color, that's not the same thing. That's natural. We're talking about unnatural colors of hair. But you know what strikes me about this? It's like what is the impetus for this? It's always plain looking people. It's always very plain looking people who do this.
They want to zhuzh it up a little. I don't blame them.
Yeah. All right. So want to join the editorial team at Nerdist? We're hiring a managing editor. Looking for someone. Here we go. Knowing all these people looking for editorial jobs now, this is a terrifying prospect. All right. So LRT, reminder that I have Oni Press creators paying out of pocket for freelance marketing PR services from me after the merger, and several creators still have no idea who will be editing their books from both companies. Wah. Remember when BuzzFeed editors all got, BuzzFeed writers and reporters, journalists all got fired at once?
Yes.
That's essentially what happened with the Lion Forge Oni merger. All of these weirdos got fired. They got pushed out into the street because when it really came down to it, when it came down to brass tacks, these people are more trouble than they're worth.
Used to be money talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah. So look, all of them eventually are going to end up in the street, and they better learn to code. All of them better learn to code right now. But yeah, this is just like, oh my goodness, all these people are suffering because they can't do their comic books.
When you're doing well, they're a luxury to have like-minded people around in your company. But once things start getting tight, then people start cutting a dead weight. They're the first to go.
Speaking of which, Cyberfrog and Vampirella exclusive variant cover. Have you seen this, Cecil?
It's fantastic.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's at $12,860 right now. In the first 2.5 hours. Not bad at all. Thank you, guys. Limited number of tiers this time. But boy, I think this is pretty cool. It's an opportunity to for comics gators to have characters that interact with mainstream characters like Vampirella, a character that's 50 years old, who, by the way, I treat with the utmost respect. I do research on Vampirella. I know who she is. I try to present Vampirella in her best possible light.
In Long Island, there's tons of hot 50-year-olds.
That's true, isn't it? You know what? You say that, but I'm 44 years old.
It's absolutely true. 44 is a perfect age to be. You can look at women up to 55 and down to 29.
Yeah, I know. I don't look at 29-year-olds. I seriously, if I'm looking at women, which is not something I normally. I'm married. I'm happily married, but my taste.
You're an artist. You have to keep your eye open for things.
Oh yeah, of course. But my taste in women would be now. I mean, I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful that I have naturally matured. I am a mature man in some ways. At age 44, I'm not chasing high school girls like some of these weirdos who are getting themselves in trouble in comics right now. I'm looking at women, who are of an appropriate age. My
Yeah,
age.
but we're in the golden age. I'm a little bit younger than you, but the golden age for a guy to get old is right now. The women are just staying hotter longer and longer.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. I remember, my grandmother when she was 60, it was over. Now I run into like 56-year-old women that look great all the time.
Cars in Depth, thanks for $5. Aposematism refers to the appearance of an animal that warns it is toxic, including odd color, and we're called redheads, not that stupid ginger Britishism. Yeah, I kind of agree. I like redhead. Ginger. Michael Roth, thanks for $5. First voted in the Bush-Gore election, and in that time, I've watched SJWs flip the right's reputation from the stodgy fun haters to the edgy rebels. I know, dude. Like, nowadays, right wingers are far more interesting. We used to be boring. We used to be like George H.W. Bush, but now we're just rock and roll. It's fun. Yeah. Casey says, I'm married. I don't look at other women. Ha 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 ha. I don't. Cecil, I'm very well behaved.
I know you are, but I'm just saying, but as an artist, you have to keep your eye open to the world and what's going on.
What I'm saying is when, I sit there, when I see a young girl, I go, that's a young girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that happened to me probably last year for the first time when I just like dismissed a girl out of hand because I'm like, that's just too young. I don't even look.
Yeah. For me, it's something like thinking of pop stars. Who's that one super small girl that licked all the donuts?
Oh, a Grande.
Ariana Grande.
Not interested. Yeah, I'm not interested in her either.
Not interested. I acknowledge she's very, very cute, but she looks like a child to me.
She looks like she's 15 years old.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how old she is. 22, 23, 24. But she looks like a child.
Yeah.
I need a woman.
Word.
All right. Mike Jenkins says EVS's nose is growing. Oh, please God, no. Like, that'd be the worst thing ever.
Now they're gonna.
I would always tell the truth. I would never lie.
Now we're gonna find like a shrine site to Ariana Grande run by you.
Oh no. Well, that would make sense. That would be the reason why. All right, so let's get back to this here. God, this person really bugs me. This person really, really bugs me. I don't want to look at this. Strange Donut. Note for folks asking for artist unions. A lot of this has already been blocked by freelancers or remote workers, often not being accepted in unions. What we need is for folk working a certain amount of hours to be employees, no matter their OG contract, and a bloodthirsty guild. Cal, I don't know what that means. Cal Jamieson, thanks for $4.99. Can I get a Comicsgate celebratory shout out for Shinobi Sasquatch? We finished with $26,000 yesterday. In demand is in effect. Cal Jamieson, congratulations for Shinobi Sasquatch. A great looking book. Great looking book. That's terrific. Maybe because unions and guilds, finally somebody figured out the difference. Don't want woke hacks. What is a guild? Do you know?
A bloodthirsty guild. I think that just using the same word that would work. A union and a guild are pretty much the same thing. It's a group of people with the same goals in mind. But I think bloodthirsty guild is just them being flowery with their language.
I can't, dude. I can't keep reading these. Oh no, not Sherilyn Eaton.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Oh, Sherilyn Eaton.
I'm so glad she put Christopher Priest in his place. That guy's been walking the cock for far too long.
Oh yeah, yeah. Christopher Priest. What a problem. Sherilyn Eaton is oh my God. I don't even know what she's done 2 books, written 2 comics. This person, I mean, is hilarious. This is the person who has the idea for housing for comic book creators. This person has it in their heads. She wants to fully communize the comic book industry. She wants, God, if you actually worked in the industry for any amount of time, the idea of this is so goddamn hilarious.
You understand, if I write a single syllable for that Rainbow Brood, you are responsible for my housing at that point.
Yes. I've already accepted that. And I will have cameras on you at all times. Let me explain what this person wants. I'm gonna try to paint a picture, Cecil.
Go ahead. I'll be quiet.
All right. The comic book industry kind of works like this. All right. Now, freelancers are hustlers. Okay. You establish your style. It takes a long time for you to find steady work in comics for most people. You have to be in the offices, bothering editors. You have to be aware of which editors publish or edit which books. You have to befriend those editors. You have to just be there. You have to keep your ear to the ground so that hey, I just heard Aquaman. There's a fill-in comic opening up for Aquaman. I'm going to call that editor up and get that fill-in. You have to be like that. You have to be ferocious, and you have to be dedicated and devoted to making sure that you're always working at all times. Now, eventually, if you're good, Marvel or DC might take notice of you and then really just decide, hey, you're somebody. You're somebody who we want to promote. You're somebody who we want to give steady work to. And in that case, they'll come to you and say, all right, we're going to give you an exclusive contract that comes with a book rate. So when you're a freelancer, there's a ceiling to the amount of money that you can get. I think it's like in the early 2000s, it was like $300 a page for pencils was top. That was the peak. And you go, that's not $300 a page. I mean, I'm spending all day on a page. I mean, it's okay. I can live on that, I guess. I'd like to do better. How are these guys doing better? Well, the way that you do better is you get an exclusive contract and they offer you a book rate. Now, a book rate breaks that glass ceiling. They go, instead of paying you by the page, we're going to pay you by the book. And we're going to pay you $20,000 an issue now. If you sign this contract, that means that you can only work for us and you're going to produce this much work per year. Then you're going to get a book rate. So now you're getting $20,000 an issue. You're making $1,000 a page. Suddenly you're way past the ceiling and you're somebody. Now, that is an enviable situation. It takes a lot of time to get to, and it doesn't happen to everyone. It happens only to the rare people like Jay Fabok, people like, obviously, Ivan Rice, people like me, people who actually, establish themselves and, people look for their work. Their work sells. They can promote their work, and they become stars. So,
Erica Henderson jumps to mind.
Yeah, like this is a thing. This is a thing. Now, this person here who doesn't seem to really understand the comic book industry and yet wants to conquer it, okay, has announced that basically everyone should get an exclusive contract. That's the first thing. Everyone should get an exclusive contract. Everyone should get a contract that guarantees them a book rate with a large page rate, a large book rate, and a steady amount of work that comes in. Everyone's entitled to that, no matter how you draw. And by the way, we're going to unionize. So if you say, you know what, somebody like this person over here, I don't really like their work, so I don't think they deserve $20,000 an issue. Screw you. Sherilyn Eaton's going to lead a strike until the comic book industry pays this awful artist $20,000. Okay, $20,000 an issue to draw. Now, on top of that, why should their healthcare needs ever be a problem? Comics, it's just basic human rights that comic book companies who are essentially, they're just trying to publish comic books that sell. They're not really here to employ Sherilyn Eaton or anyone. They're just trying to find the best freelance talent that can get them the work that's going to sell comics. Sherilyn Eaton thinks that they owe these industry professionals something. They owe them something. They owe them healthcare. So that's going to happen. And on top of that, why should someone have to struggle to look for housing in New York if they want to be close to, or LA, if they want to be close to these companies? These companies should open up dorms, essentially.
Well, she made a great point, if I may interject for a moment. She said that the freelance people should be housed at the Baxter Building or even at Xavier's mansion. There's so much room, and she made a great point with that.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got a great idea that she wants. I think she wants them to open up like apartment buildings or apartment complexes that can house 6 freelancers at a time. And she has this idea that like there would be cameras on all the time. The cameras would be on monitoring people to make sure that they're doing their work. So you're working from 9 to 5. working on your book. And if you want to work until 6, if they want you to work until 6, F you, you're paying me overtime. So, I mean, honestly, this person has this idea of the comic book industry being this enormous, gigantic, big brother, overarching, super powerful, and mega wealthy industry that can babysit people like her, employ everyone at outrageous living wages, when the comic books themselves at this point, there are comic books that are in the top 300 that are selling 5,000 copies. It's just, it's
I've got an idea that may work. Now, she was saying maybe we could house them at Xavier's school up in Westchester. But if they were in the danger room, and then at 5, if they were not working, and we started having like traps go off for them, I think just the pay-per-view alone on that would. She's not totally off the wall with this stuff.
Well, here's what I want to do. I want to say here, okay, yes, SJW Comic Pros, here's your employee housing. Walk right into this. I know it looks like a shipping crate. Okay, walk right in, and then you get 6 of them in there, and then close it, seal it, and then take it out to the Pacific Ocean and dump it in. What do you think of that idea?
I mean, will there be snacks?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm okay with
that. Just crates and crates on a garbage barge of these people, of these SJWs. Just all of them in shipping crates thinking they're in free housing. Just dump it in the ocean. By the time they figure it out.
I think they should be 2 crates of oyster crackers and no water.
What are we supposed to be drawing? Where's my script? Hey, how come the water's leaking in? What's going on? Oh my God.
Where are the windows?
Where are the windows? There better be diversity. There better be representation in this issue of Green Hornet. Boom. Just water, it caves in. Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Sounds good. Phase Shift says, don't forget the air holes. I wouldn't. Good point. All right. Cheryl Lynn Eaton. Look at her. For God's sake. I mean, you do this to yourselves. The comic book industry, I would feel bad for you, but you guys do this to yourselves. You allowed this. You let this happen. You encourage these people. You encourage these SJWs to come in here, and now they think they have control and they can push you around. It's ridiculous. We know it's ridiculous. Like, I know it's ridiculous. I could sit there and laugh about this, and I could just picture Dan DiDio rubbing his head and just be like, oh, my. Yeah, we can laugh about this because we know how stupid it is, but you've empowered these people. You've empowered these weirdos, and now they're saying shit like, I want to pause for a moment and talk about comics and opportunity. These people always think they're on a lectern. Just give me a moment. I'd like to... Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the speech. Okay. I want to pause for a minute and talk about comics and opportunity. You're tweeting shit out on Twitter. Because many who are trying to eradicate any advancement of diversity in the industry latch onto a particular erroneous argument that it is racist to hire a writer who has the same background as a character. Speaking of Zach, who, by the way, had this thing where he was saying, hey, this one writer is basically trying to get a job writing this character simply because she looks like her. Cecil, is that fair?
I don't know. I've sent my resume to write the Kingpin like 40 times and I got rejected.
Cyborg Valkyrie says, Caesar, your voice gets really high. Does it get high? Am I screeching?
Doesn't bother my ears.
That's all I cared about. I trust you. Mopseat says, why does an engineer at NASA make more money than a letterer for Squirrel Girl? Outrage. Yeah. It's racist. Oh my God.
It's nuts.
We've seen the choices some have made. Talent plus insight plus mentoring equals opportunity. Every person on earth has insight, and it will never be enough to get you through the door. What are you talking about? All right, so let's look at this artwork. I mean, look, talent plus insight plus mentoring should equal opportunity. Cecil.
She said destroy.
Why, Cecil?
I like that there are spikes coming out of a sleeve that are clearly cloth.
They are cloth. It's like a cape, right? And they're
Yeah.
spikes. Oh, this is the artwork. This is what you get. I mean, this is what you know.
This is good. This is like Iceman #8, America #14. Well, no, it never made it to 14. I think America 3. It's good stuff.
Look, do you understand?
Well, they didn't send it to get finished.
Let me read this story to you. Once there were thousands of gods. People freely worshipped us, and in turn, we thrived. But some gods wanted more. Over time, cultures were homogenized and erased. Entire pantheons were lost. And when a god is forgotten, they can never return.
Yes, so this person read Neil Gaiman's new Gods, American Gods. This is the exact same premise.
You know what? You don't putting lines all over everything. Too many lines. Too many lines. From the Art Adams School of Comic Art. Cecil, this must have taken 3 minutes to draw.
This could be the next Drawn and Quartered. And you guys will have, you know, two and a half hours to talk.
Cecil, I don't like to criticize other artists. You know what I mean? But I work really hard. You know why I work really hard? I work really hard because I am under the delusion. It's called a delusion. Let's be fair to this person. That people actually think that, you know, the drawings in the comic book are worth money. Like it's what they're paying for. They're paying for something to look at. And after they're done reading the words, they go and they look at the artwork for a little while. Enjoy it. It should be a pleasant experience for the eye. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
These cities look like flight simulator cities from like the early 90s.
Yeah.
They're just geometric blocks.
It's so depressing. This is the world that SJWs are building.
This is issue 1?
I don't of the world the SJWs are building. Yeah, this is Vault issue. By the way, Vault. What is Vault published that I was Vault? Oh, Vault is the company that published the Max Visaggio book that got optioned for TV by Sci-Fi. The Sci-Fi.
Finally.
I know. I've been waiting to see Max Visaggio come to TV for a long time. Long time. So what they want to do is these people want to shove out talented people and bring in people like this. And this is the standard. This is the way the world looks when SJWs take over. Well, this is the way comics look now. Like, say goodbye to the innovation that started with somebody like Jack Kirby. People have been trying to top each other for decades. You know, it's like Kirby, then you know, Barry Windsor Smith, and that leads to Neil Adams, and it just leads to Jim Aparo. It leads to John Byrne, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, that whole era. Joe Quesada, say what you want, his artwork's great. You know, just generation after generation of artists who grew up with the generation previous and just go, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to do more. I want to do better. And yeah, it's going to mean I am spending more hours at the artboard, but like, it's important that this, you know, that we do more. We offer more visually exciting stimulation for people.
Yeah, but if it's too good, then the everyman can adapt. Like I look at this and I go, oh, I could draw a comic.
Is that what it is? I mean, is it just like we want to make it so that it's all inclusive? Like any shithead could draw comics?
I didn't say I was a shithead.
Well, you know, not in so many words, but you implied it, you know.
I reckon I did.
This person is a shithead. I say that. I don't know them, but this person is a shithead because this is not okay. This is arrogance. To draw like this and to make it a comic book is arrogance. And that makes you a shithead. When you are entering a world, an industry, an art form that has had a bar that has been set for us by people like Neil Adams, for example, John Byrne. And this is how you want to face the world. And not everyone can do this. See, this is the thing. Not everyone can be Neil Adams. Not everyone can do that. But if you can't even fucking come close, if this is the amount of time, energy, and effort that you want to expend towards lighting up somebody's imagination, this dim, feeble, worthless attempt at storytelling, at building a world, fuck you. Get out of my industry. And this is what SJWs do. No effort. It's all a joke. Nothing matters. None of this matters.
Those buildings are fucking. It's amazing.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters. This is not meant to do anything. This is just we're.
This looks like an example somebody would draw to think of the page that would be really drawn later. Like
yeah. This is a rough sketch. You know, it's the thumbnails.
Storyboards are drawn better than this.
Yes. I mean, literally, you know what happened here? This is the same as this. They were so lazy, they didn't want to draw this twice. They took this and blew it up and put it here. This is the same drawing. Look, see this little line here? It's there.
Yeah. Well, if you got it perfect the first time, there's no reason to do it again. This is like a coloring book.
This is laziness. Cecil, I
didn't dedicate my life to the craft of drawing, so I'm not nearly. But you're like fucking beside yourself.
I'm really hurt by that.
I know you. I could just. You can't even find words right now.
I'm really hurt by it
because this is the industry you're in. This is your contemporary. That's a published artist.
Yeah, I spent a long time, and I work every day getting better and better. And it's like nothing matters. Like these people come in, they squat. It's almost like, you know what it is? It's like I've worked my entire life cello, and I'm playing the Philharmonic. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I've spent my entire life, and there's so much more I could do. And I'm surrounded by a bunch of like very talented musicians, and together, you know, we play Mozart for audiences of people who appreciate it. And then all of a sudden, something happened wherein a bunch of pink-haired weirdos came in with cheap-ass broken like instruments, come in, fart into the microphone, smash their instruments.
Right. You went to Juilliard, you were classically trained, and they take like their straw in the Starbucks cold drinks, and they just pull the straw up and down to make music.
Yes.
And it becomes a best-selling hit.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. People go, well, music wasn't that important anyway.
Oh.
Because this is what it is. That's what it is. And then everybody the people who train their entire lives just shrug, because the music industry people stop going, you know, to see orchestras play because just shitheads with Slurpee cups and straws squeaking, you know, become the thing. People go, what did we even like this for in the first place? It sucks. And then everyone, just like normal people, just stand there aghast and remember, you know, it's like, this used to be important. This used to be good. It used to be worth something. Snowtap, thanks for $10. The worst part about SJW Comic Pros is that they are doom and gloom, not inspiring. They don't grind and build something. They just want what others built. And on the social side, they stand on the back of Martin Luther King. Yeah, I know. Leo Shull says it's a mockery of art. There you go. It's like, you know, they're not even trying.
But who's going to buy it? Who's going to put down their money to buy that? Who's going to flip through that in a store and then walk away with it?
Yeah, I don't think that's the point. I don't think that like it's important that you buy it. I think the important thing is that they were allowed to be paid to do it. That's all. You know what I mean?
They got shelf space.
Well, yeah, it's important that they be allowed to do it. Not that anybody be, that it be a product that's purchasable or enjoyed by anyone. It's not meant to be enjoyed by one single person. It's only meant to keep that one person in the industry. They should be allowed to do it. They're represented. They've got their slot. Shmeebs, thanks for $5. Comparing that art to other pros reminds me of when Yoko Ono shrieked on stage with John Lennon and Chuck Berry. Do you remember that?
I do.
That was the shit. Oh my god!
If you ever get a chance, watch Bill Burr's breakdown of that video. He breaks that video down in the funniest fucking way possible. Because he breaks down the scene like Chuck Berry's facial expression when Yoko screams.
He turns around like, what the hell is?
Yeah, when you get a chance, watch Bill Burr. Just put Bill Burr Yoko Ono and search it.
Oh my god!
He does a full breakdown on that. That is fucking absolutely perfect.
I would die. I would absolutely die laughing. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm a huge John Lennon fan, so I've seen everything. And Yoko Ono was a challenge. I know it's a cliche, it's a joke now, but boy was she a challenge. She was hard on everyone who loved John. Like that's something else. Like you want to if you're somebody who is bored because everyone loves you. Everyone loves you. Everyone wants to kiss your ass. Everyone wants to do everything for you. And you're just kind of sick of it. Then you marry someone like Yoko Ono just to test their love. You know what I mean? Right. Is that kind of what he did? Like, how much do you love me? Would you still kiss my ass if I had a shrieking? George Harrison brought in a horrible sounding foreign piece of shit too when he got into the sitar. You know what I mean? But his didn't make art. John Lennon brought another horrible sounding foreign piece of shit into the Beatles. And nearly ruined it. It was Yoko Ono. So they both did. They're both guilty. But, you listen to Yoko and you go, do people... It's almost like John Lennon saying, how much do you really love me? Would you tolerate this?
Right. You like me now, but now do you like me?
Right. Johanna Saman, thanks for €1.99.
Right. It's like daring people. You say you love me, but what if I walked around with dog shit on top of my head all day long? Would you still love me then?
And I told you, it was great.
No, I told you it was brilliant. It
was
the smartest dog shit I ever heard. I can't stop listening to every suggestion.
John Lennon. Something happened when I was a teenager. I thought he was amazing, and then I got into my 30s. And I realized he was an idiot.
Yeah, I think all teenagers think John is profound.
Yeah,
he has a communist edge to him, and that's all exciting. And give peace a chance, and all. It just kind of appeals to
peace.
It appeals, and then when you get old, everybody who gets older is like, yeah, Paul was the better Beatle.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't like his music as much, but man. When I saw
do you like John's songs better?
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Really? There's a handful. I love Across the Universe and Happiness is a Warm Gun, and but I think I don't know. I think Paul has grown on me over the years. I started off as a John fan, but Paul's my guy.
Paul's a little bit too saccharine.
There is an edge to John. But as soon as John left the Beatles, I was uninterested.
The Ryan Cardinal, thanks for Canadian $20. Ethan, cleanse your eyes and check out the trailer for Chaos, A Story of Blood and Stone on Indiegogo. It's YouTube friendly since the music is from the YouTube library that's marked as free to use this song in any of your videos. Well, that's good. Maybe I will. We'll have you. I'm gonna, now that we've got this campaign going, we're definitely gonna be doing some more Comicsgate stuff. Get some more people in here. But yeah, no, everybody's got something to hide, stuff for me and my monkey. When John Lennon's rocking out, he's great. But what killed it for me was watching the Imagine movie, and Al Capp comes in. Al Capp, who was a cartoonist and a Republican. I guess he was critical of John Lennon, and they let him come in and crack on John Lennon and disrespect him in such a hilarious way. Have you seen it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. What is it called?
So John Lennon's Imagine, the movie. Okay, there's a movie called Imagine that he made that was all about him. So he basically, during his bed-in for peace, Oh my God, let me see if I can find the transcript of this because I'm not going to be able to show it, but I would love to read it to you.
Al Cap, CAP?
Yeah.
Is that what you
No,
got?
CAPP. And John Lennon got really Little Abner creator Al Cap harasses John Lennon and Yoko.
Wait, Little Abner?
Yeah, he's the creator of Little Abner. Oh my God, it was so funny, dude. I mean,
I
hold on.
not know this. This is like the type of shit I eat up and just keep in my brain forever. The Little Abner creator got into a fucking conflict with.
Yes. And he was just like, my God, you have to live with her. Like, he was saying great things to Yoko that were so funny. I mean, he was like Republican. He's like, what are you doing this for? And, Al's like, I do my drawings for money, like you do your music. It's like, let's see. Do you think I could earn money by some other way, sitting in bed for 7 days, taking shit from people like you? Lennon retorted. I could write a song about it in an hour. And, Al Cap insulted Yoko, saying to John, good God, you've got to live with that. I sent it right to Yoko. It was great, man. So if you, go on YouTube, you can find the clip. The video clip is everywhere, and it is awesome. It is so awesome. So I saw that, and I found myself agreeing with Al Cap. I think that changed my mind about John.
I already have it saved. There's a video called John Lennon blows his top at Al Cap. Right.
He introduces himself. He goes, hello, I'm a dreadful Neanderthal fascist. How do you do? He said, congratulations on the Two Virgins album cover. I think that everybody owes it to the world to prove they have pubic hair. You've done it, and I tell you that I applaud you for it. What a genius. What a genius. God.
And he was, let me guess, when did Little Abner's come out? 40s or 50s?
In the 40s. Like, this guy
was already late 60s when he's fucking harassing this guy.
Yeah, talking like the biggest cartoonist, like Al Cap. People don't remember, Little Abner now, but the guy was like Charles M. Schultz. The guy was like a multi-millionaire, big star cartoonist.
I don't think I've ever actually seen Little Abner in a newspaper.
Well, you have it doesn't exist anymore, But
when I was a kid, I think it was done by, it was not in the 90s, no?
No, Little Abner was probably done in the 70s. It was probably early 70s it was over with. Yeah, it was a thing. It was all about, like, you know what it was? It kind of inspired, like, it's Tin Pan Alley. It was like
I'm aware of it. No, I know who it is. It's like the old lady. It's like hillbillies.
Yeah, it was hillbilly humor, essentially. I don't think I've ever read it either. Not really.
Like, now I'm questioning, how the fuck do I know? Like, I'm totally aware of what Little Abner is. I know what it looks like, and yeah,
so funny. I love it. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining me here. 3 hours. We've been here for 3 hours. We've got Cyberfrog and Vampirella. Hold on. Let me share this.
You have not been selling. You've been bullshitting with me. I was a drag on sales.
No. 3 hours in, we're $13,720, 686% of our $2,000 flexible goal. With 31 days left, I want to thank everybody for backing and supporting Cyberfrog and Vampirella, the exclusive variant cover. You guys are absolutely awesome. If you haven't backed it yet, make sure that you do. Mike S. Miller's like, aw, just got here, but he spells aw like awesome.
Right.
Mike, you're not a teenage girl. That's not how to spell aw. It's a.
He's in awe of you or me, and he just got here.
That's one of the things that really pisses me off about the internet. It's not aw, like A-W. Everyone knows that. And you're a cartoonist, and you've seen people say aw in cartoons. And Mike is spelling it A-W-E like he's in awe.
Where the fuck is Al Cap when you need him?
That's why my company's called All Caps.
Oh, right. Al Cap. Yeah.
I tribute to Al Cap. He's like, I'm a dreadful Neanderthal fascist. How do you do? What a genius.
All Caps is a homage to Al Cap.
Absolutely. The Giants used to walk the earth. They really did. We had really amazing people. Cyberfrog Blood Honey team up cover. Wow, just past 209,000. We're gonna hit 210 probably. $209,126. Absolutely love you all.
When is the final day for that?
I don't know yet. I'm still letting it go. You know, I'm still letting it go. I'll decide when I'm gonna cut it off. You know, but it's doesn't need to be yet. You know, awesome is correct. As filled with awe, not awe. That's right, James Beveridge. That's the whole point. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. Cecil, thank you for coming and talking to me about Yoko Ono. I love that. It's fun. I feel like going to watch that video now.
Watch the Bill Burr one. Bill Burr, Yoko Ono. Type that in and you'll laugh your fucking ass off. We'll talk about it later.
All right, wait. People are saying I didn't read all my super chats. Let me just run through that real quick and make sure. Eric Weather says the B-17 crew bombs Adolf and crash lands in the Middle Ages. Flying Fortress Remastered Indiegogo launches June 6th. Check the upcoming section. Tank Ferret Art says Chaos, flipping rules. Let's see. Cyborg Valkyrie says I've seen better art on used toilet paper. Oh my god. Zebulon Pike says our Flotus Melania defines elegant beauty. That is true. She's really beautiful. Michael Ross says first voided. Oh no, I've seen that. Cal Jameson. Cecil, you got to be careful. You got to make sure that you read everything. Mob Seat says, Ethan, if we order different issues of Cyberfrog, can you ship them together to save postage? I'm afraid that I don't know. That's my answer for that. I would talk to my fulfillment center and see if they have the energy to actually ship everything together. But right now, we just don't offer that. It's too complicated. I mean, you know, when you're dealing with 16,000 orders, you know, it's really tough. I'm sorry. Terry Baker's Bag Boy Diaries. Thanks for 99 cents. And I think that's it. I think we got them all. Thank you guys very much. Comicsgate rules. You guys rule, and support all of these Indiegogo campaigns that are going on right now. Particularly support Shinobi Sasquatch, which I think is really, really good. You don't have to support Mike S. Miller, though.
No. In fact, refund and then use that for Shinobi Sasquatch. It's good use of funds.
That's a great idea. Great idea. All right, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.